Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Symphony. Symphony Entertainment Gaming and Arts is my gaming company that focuses on horror systems, indie games, organic content, and player agency in an attempt to bring a symphonic approach to horror role-playing. I am your host and your GM of the night, Bridgett, and we are going to be playing the Silo, which is a scenario that I wrote for Kult Divinity Lost in their recent Kickstarters that's going to be, or their recent Kickstarter that is sitting in Broken Reflections. I am very excited. This is actually going to be the very first time that I've run this content. I never had an opportunity to play test it, so we are actually going to be dusting off this content in very real time. The only announcement that we have for this evening is that Symphony does have a Patreon. So if you like this content and you would like to help us make more of it, please consider backing us at patreon.com/Symphony Entertainment. Now, without further ado, let us immediately unveil this cast. Cast members, please introduce yourselves. Tell us who you are, where people can find you, some of the things that you do, and just the name of your PC. And we're going to start with Bucho.
Hey everybody, my name is Bucho. I am production daddy at Symphony Entertainment. I am also a published author of surrealist and dystopian fiction, which you can find on Amazon. I'm an abstract artist, which you can find all of my work and some of my other stuff at linktree.com. Nope, sorry, linktree/Bucho Rodenberger. It's a weird URL.
It is a very weird URL. They really are.
Yeah, they went pretty extra with that.
I agree.
And that's what I do.
Amazing. And then we're going to skip down to Skip.
Hi, I'm Skip. I go by Commodore Skip in all the Discords. You can catch me here on Symphony. I'm also a cast member of The Old Ways, and I am also a cast member for Black Creek Podcast, which does New Dawn, a Delta Green publication. Let's just put it that way. So I'm glad to be here, and I am playing Eli.
Amazing. And then we're going to hop on over to Mav.
Hey y'all, my name is Mav. I'm the head of Mythos Horror for the Old Ways podcast, where I run a bunch of tentacular, horrible things, including an upcoming campaign for Gaslight Cthulhu, which I'm very excited about. You can find me on Ain't Slayed Nobody, Symphony Entertainment, Miskatonic Playhouse, Sometimes How We Roll, and a few other places. And you can find my scenarios, including the brand new The Man Who Sold the World, which is a 1970s David Bowie scenario, on Drive-Thru RPG.
Amazing. And last but totally not least, Nik.
Hi, I'm Nik. You can find me most places under the Sputnik with two I's, THESPUTNIIK, because everywhere I looked,
Hey,
one eye was taken.
that was a whole beat too. That was a bop. Sorry.
Thank you. I'm rehearsed. You can find me sometimes at various conventions running 10 Candles.
Yes. Amazing. And Nik, who are you playing tonight?
I'm playing Zach.
Amazing. Okay. So I have reviewed content warnings with the cast and crew, and the cast completely understands that the X card is in play, as well as Symphony's standard red, yellow, green traffic light method, which any safety tool can be activated by any player, any GM at any time. And if so, there will be no questions asked and there will be no judgment passed. Now, the table collectively recorded a session 0. That to our Patreon backers is available on your portal now. So you can enjoy that if you want to go back and watch how the characters developed, how we established our lines and our veils and things of that nature. However, this is Kult Divinity Lost, and Kult is a mature game for mature tables. The tone is dark, and we're going to push the limits of how dark we can actually go. So this is me forward-facing the content warnings to you, the viewer. This is what I anticipate. We could go elsewhere, and if you're watching it on YouTube, just look for the content warnings on the description below. But here's what's as written you might be able to expect. We are going to be looking at harm to children. Potentially gratuitous, it just depends on how the table handles it. Lots of harm to animals, possibly named animals, but more likely just a collection of farm animals. We are looking at self-inflicted harm to include suicide, cutting, starvation, expulsion, self-flagellation. There's going to be grief. There is a potential for sex or sexual situations. We'll be looking at death, body horror, ritual sacrifice, nods to sexual encounters with minors, and infanticide. If this content isn't for you, that's okay. It doesn't have to be. You can switch the dial and you can go enjoy something else. If this content is for you, well, welcome to the Symphony, and we hope you deeply enjoy the story that we are getting ready to tell. Cast members, are we rocking and rolling and ready to rock out? Okay, then we are going to jump into the silo, written for Kult, Divinity, Loss. This is modern day. It's today. And the four of you, along with a small collection of others, are a family that reside on a farm somewhere in small town USA. The actual state doesn't matter. The actual city doesn't matter. Our story is more microscopic, I'll say, in nature. But the four of you, along with, well, at least one sibling and one patriarch that resides in the farmhouse with you, you all collectively own and run the family business, which means your livelihoods, your reputation, your sense of self, your sense of value is all tied up into this industry, and it's all tied into this property, which in so many ways makes this family tighter. But that pressure continues to build, especially as your current farm, your family business, your livelihood, your everything is facing risk. The very first thing we're going to do before we even get into character introductions is to introduce this centralized figure that is actually the beating heart of this family, but it's also the patriarch of this family. It's also the foundation of this family, which is going to be the family farm. Now, as written, there are several ways that the farm can come under distress, and this group has chosen corruption. I am going to very briefly read to you all what the table chose as far as the conflict that is coming up against the farm. Corruption. That new factory went up less than a year ago, and already overflow spills have corrupted the water that directly supplies your farm. You filed complaints, you've hired investigators, and you've confronted the corporation directly. You've gone to the local news. You've solicited the resources of the Environmental Protection Agency, and somehow their corporate profits continue to soar while your margins continue to diminish. They feel bulletproof. That makes all of you feel small, disregarded, and helpless. They feel bulletproof while your farm, your business, your family, you are rendered more vulnerable by the moment. So let's discuss this farm immediately. You live and work on a big farm that surrounds or is surrounded by a massive grain silo. What aesthetic or lifestyle details can you tell me about your farm? And this is going to be meaningful aspects of the shared farms. Perhaps there are unique buildings or significant history tied to the land. Are you an hour outside of the nearest town or your nearest church? Are there scenic rolling hills, or is everything super flat? Is it rows and rows of cornfields, or is it sitting right across from an asphalt highway where there's just non-stop traffic running alongside? Tell me about this entity, this farm, your foundation, your scaffolding, your everything. And this is something that you guys can negotiate in real time, or you can just yes and. Someone throws out something, you yes and, and you move to the next. It's your story. Build it how you choose.
It's a bit out from town, but the church is halfway between the farm and town. Everybody goes to the church. So our farm is close to it, but we're further out from the town.
Okay.
I think the house was built by my father, or maybe his father, and we have added on to it over the years. So it is now a kind of sprawling two-story not a ranch style, a two-story house. Yeah, with a large wraparound porch around the front.
There's also a huge barn between the house and the grain silo. Uh, it's really the only thing that's being kept up. It is bright red, just like a barn should be. Metal roof, it's green. Um, that seems to look well cared for, whereas everything else is starting to deteriorate a little bit.
And there used to be this dirt, gravel, excuse me, country road that kind of cut through some of the farm. But um, now that big business has moved in, there is this huge highway that just dissects it right down the middle.
Ooh. Love it. Any other details about your farm?
Yes. Many of our prior family members are also buried on it. We have a family plot.
Oh, I like that.
I want to throw out there that we're kind of far from the nearest town, but we're far enough away from the nearest hospital where you would die before you got there.
Such an interesting detail, Nick.
I think Nik understands Cult.
I think Nick understands the assignment. I think he's got it. Oh.
How can we make this more difficult on
Oh,
ourselves?
Nick was like, "Nah, I understand the assignment. Don't threaten me with a good time. I get it." So, Nick, that's such an interesting detail about the distance from here to the local hospital, which just tells me that there's probably a doctor at the church that does most of your house visits in the event that you have strep or there's been some type of an accident, things of that nature. But that distance from life-saving care is quite a hurdle. And I just want to share with you a few small things that you may not realize as players in real life about grain silos. So these large, monstrous towers that keep the grain dry and processed, they have a very high death rate. The mortality rate being around grain silos is incredibly high, more, excuse me, than most people typically talk about it. These are the most common ways that individuals die, that farmers are lost in grain silos. Suffocation. If you drop from the scaffolding or the overhangs and fall into this grain, it swallows you whole. And the digestion of this grain as you're trapped inside of it compresses you, smothers you, and you can suffocate within minutes. Once buried, death is imminent as the crushing happens. Storing organic matter that rots and decays, that fermentation can build highly toxic gas, especially if you're not keeping up with your upkeep. So poisonous gas exposure is another common way that individuals die in proximity to a grain silo. There's mechanical dangers. The mechanical equipment, especially as you all are depreciating in your upkeep, is always a risk. Falls are common. If you fall off the top of a grain silo on the interior or the exterior, your story is going to end there. And of course, they are prone to explosions and fire. That dusty, dry interior of the silo, it is conducive to sudden flames. So combined with the production of various gases, grain explosions are more common than farmers like to admit. How lucky are you that you're that far away from the nearest hospital? I'm sure that won't come up at all. Any other details about the farm? I feel like a well needs to be there for no other reason. I just like the idea of a well being there.
Chekhov's well.
Chekhov's well.
Exactly.
I just feel like it needs to be there.
I like it that we're growing corn because cornfields are creepy. So
Cornfields are horrifying. I like
yeah,
it.
I like it.
Okay. Cornfields are great. I am tempted to ask you about this big corporation that's moved in not too far up the road from you guys, but something feels more haunting by not actually giving it a name, by just referring to it as the corporation. Any objections, or does someone really want to name it and identify it?
Nope.
Perfect.
I think we're all good with that.
Yeah, that feels good. So we'll
Monolithic.
rock out with that. It does feel monolithic. Yep. Okay. Um, I'm going to change this just a bit. We are going to do character introductions now. So this is just what the audience would onboard knowing about the character. So this is going to be your name, your physical description, your typical demeanor, and then you're going to end your character introduction with what your daily routine looks like on the farm, how you contribute to the family business, possibly what you're sacrificing for the good of the family, whether that was a relationship or whether that's your future or whether that's your investment is tied up in here. The one thing we're not going to touch on in this character introduction is going to be the dark secrets. The Patreons can enjoy that from session 0. That will also be rolled out during the course of play. So we're going to go ahead and start with the Patriarch. Well, you're not really the Patriarch, are you? You're more like second place, but you're the most active one. We'll say that much. Silas, please introduce yourself to us.
My name is Silas Jacobson, father, devoted husband. I'm a tall, stout man in my 40s. My dark hair is peppered with gray streaks, but my beard is graying much faster. So I look older than I actually am. Um, I am, again, stout, but it's the strength from daily work.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but you can tell on my face that there's also just a deep exhaustion there, through the laugh lines in my face. I typically wear plaid and a pair of well-worn work pants.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I wake up early every morning, earlier than the rest of the family. Typically, I'll nudge my wife Mandy, um, kind of wake her up a little bit, let her know that I'm leaving. I'll make the coffee in the kitchen. I'll fill up my canister, and then I'll double check all the equipment that my son Eli worked on the previous night before I start the day. I want to make sure that I am double checking his work, so can't have more stuff breaking down on me midday.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll end up losing time with chores, and I can't afford that. Then comes breakfast with everyone around the table. At that point, the wife is there, the kids are there before they go off and do their things. On Sundays, however, we go to early service at church.
Mm-hmm.
When I get home, I tend to the gardening and the upkeep of the family cemetery. So Sundays are my day for reflection to the Lord and also reflection to the family. Most evenings, after the day is done, after dinner, I like to sit out on the porch and just listen to the night kind of arrive. Kind of helps me calm down after all the activity. Yeah.
Absolutely stunning character introduction there, Bucho. Well done. I am just going to ask, just so the viewers now can grasp, each of your PCs have a character concept: the saint, the black sheep, the withdrawn, the clown, the enabler, and others. What did you choose for Silas?
The laugh lines in my face would lead you to believe that I am the clown.
Fantastic. I think it's only fair that we've done father, that we move over to mother. Mav, please introduce your PC.
So I am playing Mandy Jacobson, the mother of this family. I am a tall, lean woman, fairly placid looking. You can tell I used to be pretty in a homegrown, corn-fed kind of way. You know, that kind of blonde hair and blue eyes, and uh, probably could have been homecoming queen at some point, but you can see the lines of a lost past and a lost future on her face, just
Mm.
lining. And there's kind of a sadness in my blue eyes uh, that I do my best to hide from everybody, but if you catch me at just the right moment when I'm turning away from the cast iron in the kitchen, then you can just see a glimpse of it for a moment. I wear plaid shirts because they're durable and they also hide a multitude of sins, and blue jeans and usually some sturdy shoes, not work boots because I'm not out in the fields as much as the rest of the family, but um, decent enough to get around in. And I help um, with keeping everyone fed, keeping things
Mm-hmm.
moving, but I also handle some of the books.
Mm-hmm.
I was taught by my husband's father, Ezra, how to do the bookkeeping because someone needed to do that while the boys were at work. So my daily routine is I get up in the morning around the time Silas gets up. I go and I make breakfast for everybody. That's the first thing that I do after my morning prayers.
Mm-hmm.
So I pray, I read my Bible for a few minutes, I go straight to the kitchen. And then after we have our morning breakfast, I take care of Ezra's needs, whatever those might be for the day. And then I do some bookkeeping. I clean the house because they're always tracking dirt in,
Mm-hmm.
always. Can't keep a house clean out here. So I do all the housework in between the bookkeeping. Might go out and help with the chickens or the cows as
Mm-hmm.
needed. Just I do everything around here, a little bit of everything. And then I cook in the evening for our family dinner because we have to have family dinner. Even if you miss breakfast, you got to be there for dinner. That is Mandy's one rule. Everyone's there for dinner. And then in the evening, while Silas is out on the porch, I'm preparing food and meals for the next day,
Mm-hmm.
preparing snacks and setting up the coffee so that his coffee is ready in the morning and getting the food ready for breakfast so that I can just come down and put the biscuits in the oven or whatever needs doing. Um, and then I read my Bible and go to bed. And in this family, I am the enabler.
Chef's kiss, Mav. Now I'm going to take a brief pause in character introductions to introduce an NPC that has been referenced multiple times, and this is Ezra, the current patriarch of the family. This is Silas's father. Now, Ezra is everything that you would think of when you think of a spiteful, angry, hateful man that is too hateful, angry, and spiteful to die. He is currently wheelchair bound in the house that he, as a child, helped build. His wife, Silas's mother, is buried here on the family plot. And I don't say this lightly, more than an occupant in this home, on most days, it feels like he haunts it, even in his living presence. He is nonverbal. He can make certain hand gestures. He can blink. He can grunt to mostly relay or communicate, but mostly that's just going back and forth to Mandy. He hates all of the other kids in the family except for the middle child, and we'll get to Gracie in between introductions right now. But this is a looming figure that glares at you with drool and food coming out of the side of his mouth every time you eat breakfast. That's one of his traditions, but now at least it's mandatory per Mandy's new tradition that the family comes together for dinner. But so much of this house is a reflection of Ezra, is an echo of Ezra, and there's just always this ever present watchfulness that even though this man can't speak, he knows more about you than he should. And if you ever gained speech, well, maybe we'll hear about Silas's childhood and what it feels like to grow up under the scrutiny of Ezra. For now, we're all just grateful that he can't speak. Moving to our eldest child, which I believe is going to be Zachary.
Zach is every bit as stout as his father. Um, Almost looks like a younger version of him, with as he's almost ashamed of softer hands. He does a lot of the logistics. He does a lot of the inventory. He does a lot of the somebody has to go out and talk to people and make sure that we are selling what we are growing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he He's also the one that is out there checking stuff like soil parameters. He's the one who noticed when stuff was starting to get bad.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a log book of like how bad it's been getting since this big faceless company was stood up. Um, and he'll do very in line with how he operates as a person, anything he's really asked, so long as it'll help keep the peace.
Mm-hmm.
Whether that be, helping with the animals or uh, hunting something down in the fields that's been messing with the crops. Um, and Zach's archetype is the withdrawn.
Beautiful. Between Zach and Eli is the middle sister, the saint, the one who can do no wrong. And this is Gracie Jacobson. Gracie has always been petite. And that's just something that she's maintained for the entirety of her life. She never grew beyond that 5'2" point. And somehow that still makes her adorable, even right now in her early 20s. Now, she doesn't live on this farm, which there are some opinions and some thoughts regarding whether she abandoned or whether it's healthier that she's not here, but she's ever present. She somehow makes most breakfasts. She makes most dinners. She's coming in from town. You know that she has a fiance that you've met a couple of times. And there's some questions regarding that as well. But Gracie has finished law school. She's just completed the bar. And her audacity and her almost sense of worth has somehow exponentially increased. You all saw it coming down the pipeline, but now Gracie is just that much more Gracie when she's around. This is almost a offshoot of her mother, Mandy, but she has dark bundles of just curls that run down her back with bright blue eyes that she absolutely took from her mother. And she is the go-between most of the family, especially when there's dissonance. But she's also that go-between that you can't fully trust. But it's Gracie. And the baby of the family.
Eli got what Gracie lacked, is the remainder of the stoutness. Uh, Eli stands about 6'7". He is
Oof.
built like a brick house, because he is working on the mechanics of the farm. He's working on the tractors. He's working on the pumps. He's working on everything. So he is constantly out lifting stuff, moving stuff around, and his body shows it. He has got jet black hair. Usually keeps about a 3 or 4 day beard. Empty brown eyes. If you look at it into him, it's like something is just not there that may have been there at one point, but now just doesn't give a crap. Um, that is why the barn is impeccable. He doesn't care about what goes on in the house, doesn't care what goes on around the farm itself, but he cares about his workshop and he cares about the mechanics and keeping things running. Um, and that is why that is impeccable. Every tool is kept in a certain place and it's put back there at a certain time. Um, and he maintains the barn more than he maintains himself, is when it comes down to it. Um, he is the black sheep of the family, and he knows it, and he represents it by a tattoo on the back of his right hand, which is a black sheep. So he has just embraced this feeling that he has gotten from his family.
Oof. Silas, what is the designation, the honorific, the name that your children call you? Is it father, pa, dad?
I think it's father.
Mandy, what do they call you? Mom?
Mm-hmm.
Ezra feels like a paw to me.
Mm.
I just feel like he's been appalled probably most of his life. That feels good to me. Okay, perfect. Sunday dinner. Mandy, what's on menu right now that you are bringing out of the kitchen to the family that's in mid discussion right now about what to do with the corporation? What are our next steps to protect and save the farm as the family is discussing? What have you prepared and what are you bringing out from the kitchen right now?
I'm currently bringing out a big pot of chili. And I've already put cornbread out on the table, fresh baked cornbread from scratch, with butter, and there's a little bit of jalapeno in the cornbread, just a touch for some heat. And there's a big bowl of salad on the table as well, and this big pot of chili that I've been using for years and years and years and will not get another one because this is one I got when we got married. And so it's important to me, part of my kitchen trousseau. And so I set it down in the middle of the table.
The chili in the ancient pot sits down at the table. Now, Silas, you are not seated at the head of the table because that's where your father sits, because he is technically the head of this family, and he's sitting there with his shoulders low with a vicious, hateful glare just staring down Eli's entire soul. Gracie is here, and versus sitting at the table, she's actually sitting on that long wooden vanity that your mother made from scratch, Silas, and she's got one foot up, and she has a laptop sitting next to her. She has a tablet in her lap, and she has Zachary's dutiful notes that he's been taking for the past few months, and she's cross-referencing data. And Zach, Gracie has always been a fan of you, or at least she's always had a way to make you feel that way. But there are moments when you feel empowered and seen when she's around, because she will take the captures of the intelligence or the data or the observations, the documentation that you've been assembling, and just put it on this pedestal that feels like it's beyond reproach. And maybe in so many ways it is, because as you are battling these lawsuits and going before the EPA and these attorneys, this type of documentation is really all you have beyond your hurt feelings and the destruction of the farm. And Gracie pops open her email and she's running through something with her mouse, and she goes, "God fucking damn it. Sorry, Mom. Sorry.
Language,
Eli.
honey. Language.
Sorry. Was it father or dad?"
I'll take either, but father's, yeah.
Nope, sorry, father. No, fucking Eli. I asked you for one simple thing. It was get the records from the veterinarian for all of the cows. What is this?
First of all, I never heard you ask me that.
Really? That's what we're going to do right now? We didn't have the same conversation last time I was here?
I was in the barn. I was working on the pump for the silo. You know how loud that piece of shit gets.
Okay, so now you're going to gaslight me in front of everyone like you weren't sitting in that same fucking chair. Sorry, Dad. Sorry, Mom, that you weren't sitting in that same fucking chair when I said, hey, I need the veterinary records on the cows. All
I heard was, hey, and then my favorite song came on.
No, what you heard is you don't give a damn about this family.
Okay. Your mother's made a meal. We're going to put the work aside for the moment and enjoy what she has made us. Let's all take a breather. Sit down and enjoy a meal like a family. Put the tech away, and we'll return to that after. The problems will still be there after we eat. We'll handle it after we eat. We'll take a beat. We'll handle it.
Yeah, because cornbread fixes everything.
Slide a little
better than you do.
I slide a little jar that says swear jar on it down towards Gracie.
Gracie slams the laptop shut. You may have heard the lid of that fracture just slightly. She slams it onto the vanity, and she moves over to you, Mom, and she gives you like this rage-filled, apologetic smile. And she snatches up the jar and she just takes it back to her seat and she puts it in front of her, fully committing that her language is going to be a problem for the duration of dinner. But she does contribute to it. as is expected.
Thank you. Now,
Better.
let's eat what your mother has provided. It smells delicious, honey.
Thank you, dear. Just
Okay,
looking
we're not
around.
really going to let this go, right?
Hmm.
Dad, listen, I want to say we're not going to have many more dinners like this if we don't start taking this more seriously. If all of us don't start pulling our weight in this investigation, Zach and I can't do it all by ourselves.
Nobody's asking you to stop. We're just saying put a pause on it for the moment. We'll return to it after dinner. Right now, let's eat. Let's be a family. It's important that we do things as a family. It's important that we solve our problems as a family. Yeah. If you want to work through dinner, that's fine. I think it's disrespectful to your mother. Nobody is eschewing the problems. We're addressing the problems. I'm just saying for now, let's have a nice meal. We'll address this after dinner. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
There's
Fine.
a time for food. There's a time for work.
Zach is gonna look over to Gracie and just like mouth, "Gracie, please eat."
Gracie bites onto the inside of her cheeks, and when it's her turn in the hierarchy, she will serve herself chili. And she looks over to you, Zach, and she mouths back, "It's always his fault."
And Zach just kind of like tries to nod as subtly as possible.
Gracie fills her bowl, and because she can do no wrong, even in her most altruistic moments, she is going to redirect the conversation. "So, Mom, how was your day?" You can hear that tone of sarcasm that's being directed at Dad, but she is actually asking you a genuine question.
Well, thank you for asking, dear. It was quite interesting. I'm reading through the book of Proverbs this morning. So we're on Proverbs chapter 6. But, everything else, just cooking for my children. I love to see you eat. Go on, take a little bit more, take a little bit more. There we go. And just a beaming smile as she takes a bit more.
We do want you to grow up big and strong, Gracie.
Sometimes I worry that you all don't eat enough. I don't like having leftovers, you know? So, yes, and just working on the books and taking care of Pa. You know, just the normal things. Normal things.
And almost on cue, when you say taking care of Paul, you hear that acidic boil and burp coming from the interior of his oversized stomach. And then that rancid smell of him just radiates through the table. And this is getting more frequent. And it's getting worse. Maybe this is finally a sign, Silas, that he's getting ready to die. But until then, you have to tolerate the flatulence and the smell of decay that constantly pools off of his bowels.
He sits at the head of the table, but I think
Mm-hmm.
I sit between him and the other family members
Mm-hmm.
as kind of a buffer. And so when I smell that, like I'll take my napkin and kind of like wipe his mouth because I think maybe some of the drool is causing it. Like maybe there's something foul in his mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Dad.
And he just continues to tremble as he stares at Eli in full outward hatred. And the rest of the table has to stomach and taste that smell. It'll pass. It always does. But it's here now.
Out of his
I
view, I kind
get
of
up and open a window. Just like, oh, it's such a lovely evening. We should enjoy the fresh air a bit.
Maybe you can can it and give it to me to Gracie when she goes home.
Yeah, fuck you, Eli. I'm sorry.
Language.
Uh, the swear jar is already in front of her. So, Zach, how's your day been saving the farm and actually showing up for the family?
I think my hands are starting to get bleached from the soil quality, but other than that, uh, business as usual, which is, you know, plants dying, unfortunately. We do have, well, we did have someone interested in buying some of the crops, but as they drove by and saw the state of events and backed out of the contract.
We had a buyer.
Did past tense.
What was it they saw?
They saw some of the rot starting to take over some of the fields. It's bad by the roads.
Okay.
Zach, how much time do you think we have realistically?
He's gonna reach for his logbook of parameters, and like parse through it in maybe a month.
Fuck. Sorry, Mom.
No, I think that one's
Um,
valid. That was a valid one.
Zach is gonna kind of underhand pass Gracie a small bag of quarters.
To which she gracefully accepts and throws a couple down. I don't know who we are or what we do if we don't have this.
Sure, it'll all work out somehow. God is testing us like he tested Job. That's all. He tests those who are most worthy of him. And we are a good family. Just to glare at everybody.
Zach makes dead eye contact with Eli.
It had nothing to do with the rot. I'm telling you what, everything, the tractors, everything, I keep going. They're going. It's not my fault. I don't know what's going on out there. That's y'all. I make
Yep.
sure the equipment runs. Now, if we need money, we could sell some of the older stuff. I've been keeping it up, even though we're not really using it, just in case. But I don't get any credit for that. I just get yelled at because I'm spending more time on that than somewhere else. But that's always there if you need it.
I don't know about anybody else, but I counted at least 5 euphemisms in there. Rod, keeping it
Scandalized.
up.
Silas, hardly appropriate conversation for the dinner table.
I'm just
Yeah, Dad.
trying to lighten the mood a little bit. It's a heavy conversation.
Yeah, but Dad, the problem is it's a heavy conversation that we've been having for the past year. We have lost so much time.
I don't know what else we can do against this company. I don't Have we done everything we possibly can?
Blow them up.
Short of blowing them up. But I'm not opposed to it at this point.
Zach, anything on the radar? Anything that you can think of? Legally, I've thrown everything that I can at them. But we don't have the resources to fight them. That's the problem. We're in the right. As Mom says, we're on the side of the angels, but that doesn't matter if we don't have the money to stand against them in court. They're going to eat us alive. They're already eating us alive.
I've been looking up and down for things that we could throw at them, including but not limited to some of the animal, and he's gonna prime a quarter, animal shit, drop it in the jar. That like literally just throwing it at them and seeing if that works. But nothing. Nothing that would functionally change anything.
What
Gracie,
about the Wilsons on the other side? I
My
mean,
God, who cares about the fucking Wilsons?
that,
Sorry, Mom. Sorry.
oh yeah, because if you didn't think of it, nobody did. Right. Okay.
Gracie, what kind of options do we have? What are we looking at?
Surrender.
That's it? There's no fight left in us?
Dad, we just need to start looking at the worst case scenario at this point. I can bring you and Mom back home with me. Joseph wouldn't have a problem. You could come and move in with us until we found you guys some other type of arrangements. The apartments in town are beautiful. They have these new full senior citizen flats that are going up. I,
Uh, hmm. It's well intentioned, but I don't think your mother and I would do very well in a situation like that.
Can't leave the fields, the farm, the God's great outdoors, and live in town.
There's a whole several generations of our family out back. I can't. I don't know that I could leave.
what happens when you don't have a choice? And at that point, a blinding white light floods the room for just a brief second, and it leaves each of you dazed and partially blind. Thoughts rake at the edges of your mind, attempting to escape but unable to find any type of valve or moment or blink to actually birth. So you're stuck, constipated with your fears and your insecurities and your doubts and the realization that maybe this fight is actually over. You each begin to mumble incoherent sentences, half memories fade into nothingness. Everything seems to slow down for a moment, and then your visions come back. Once you take stock and you realize where you are, a thunderous clap sweeps through the house on a warm, wet, coppery wind. Every window shatters and glass rains down upon all of you, leaving cuts where your modest clothing may not fully cover. There's a buzz in your ear like a screaming monitor that grows louder and louder and louder until you lose your... You almost feel like you're going to faint. And then slowly your senses come back online. There's an absence of the ever presence and surrounding sounds of livestock and crickets, the breeze. Even that grandfather clock just on the outside of this room isn't ticking. And that is something that you know you can always, always depend on. Slowly, the crickets are reintroduced. The clock finds its tick. The glass that's being brushed around the table actually makes a sound as it falls to the floor. And as you look out of the shattered windows outside, swirling black feathers begin to fall from the sky. I need everyone to please roll your first. This is going to be a keep it together. First roll of the game.
Ooh.
Willpower.
Mm-hmm. And we're going to rapid fire this, and I'm actually going to start with, let's do reverse order of our lives right now. Eli, how'd you do with your keep it together?
I got an 18.
Okay. You grit your teeth and stay the course. Zach.
I got a 9.
Ooh, 9. The strain
Uh,
is too much for you or your mind to handle. The GM chooses your reaction. Cower powerless in the threat's presence, panic with no control of your actions, suffer emotional trauma, or suffer a life-changing trauma. Ooh. Nik, I could start ticking away at points, but I really like the idea of cowering powerless in the threat's presence, which means the safest place for you in this moment is beneath the dining room table. Quick reconciliation, and we'll speed everyone back to time. Mandy, how'd you do?
13.
Ooh. The effort to resist instills a condition which remains until you've had time to recuperate. What do you choose?
I think I've become scared
That's
because
good.
things are affecting my family, and so I'm trying to pull my family back together because I'm afraid something's going to happen to them.
Perfect. You take a -1 stability and you take on the scared condition. And Dad? Oh,
I
it's
got a
delicious, isn't it?
I got a 9.
Oh, this is going to be the same as Nik. Suffer life-changing trauma, suffer emotional trauma, cower or panic with no control of your actions. Bucho, what feels best right now?
Hurt me, Daddy.
Yeah, I feel like we should just lean in on this one. Yeah, 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 yeah,
You know how we
yeah.
like to do here in Cult Land.
Yes, let's do it. You know what, babe? Let's explore suffer and emotional trauma for a -2 stability.
Okay.
And I'm going to tee you up last. Rest of the table, what are your immediate responses as outside it's snowing black feathers?
I run to over to Ezra
Mm.
to check on him and make sure he's okay. Just quickly, like, Pa, Pa, are you all right? Can you hear? Can you see? Just waving my hand in front of his eyes, checking to see if there's a response. I'm worried about him, and I'm scared something might have happened to him.
He hit a 9 and a 9, so with an 18, he absolutely has grit his teeth and stay the course. So he's grown very still, and it almost seems like when you engage with him, it takes a couple blinks before he comes back online and he looks to you and he says to you in a way that you apparently are the only ones that understand that he's okay. He's shaking and his eyes are darting around as he's looking around, but your presence and your proximity does at least ground him enough where he's steady.
Eli's just going to get up and go outside and find out what the fuck just happened.
Okay. Eli, you are going outside. I hit a 8, 9, 10, 11 for fuck. So Gracie's gonna struggle too. Zach?
Zach's going to immediately and clumsily scatter under the table and just sit under their niece, chest, head held down into his lap. Not entirely dissimilar to how one would react to a tornado.
Oh, that's good. Gracie is going to look around. She's unsurprised that Eli is abandoning the family in a time of crisis. So she's going to tend towards Zach. And she gets up and she brushes the glasses off of herself and she just coils beneath this heavy table. She moves over the spires, she moves around the legs, and she just winds up wrapping herself around you, Zach. And she pulls you in with one leg up and another one pinched in, and her arm comes around your shoulders, and she drops her chin on your head, and she begins to hum to you what? Is it a song? Is it a lullaby? Is it just this melody she made up to comfort you?
I think it's a lullaby. Something that's been pretty consistently able to get me back down to earth.
Okay. In a moment of pure fear, you can hear that lullaby seep inside of you, but something feels wrong with it. Almost as if the lullaby is being played or sang or hummed in reverse. There's a corruption in it. Something is wrong. everything is wrong. Silas, you involuntarily stand up from the table. There's glass all over the floor. There's glass in the chili. There's glass over the cornbread. Two of your children have fled beneath the table. Your wife is attending to the patriarch of the family. Eli is doing whatever it is that Eli does. And you're standing there as black feathers rain on the outside of the house. And you are shunted back into a memory. Ezra is standing and he is assembling your tie. Roughly. He's always had rough hands when it comes to you. You are breathing and drinking in his cologne, a cologne that you've always hated. Your mother always hated it too, but who could tell Ezra anything? And he turns you around and he pushes you in front of a mirror, a full body mirror. And you are dressed in your best as you prepare to walk down the aisle in the next 30 minutes or so and pledge the entirety of your life to God again and to Mandy. But you don't actually want to go down that aisle. This isn't the bride that you chose for yourself. It's the bride that he chose for you. You're going to smile, boy. You're going to look good for the pictures. You're going to make your ma proud. You're going to make me proud. You're going to stand before God and you're going to call Mandy your wife.
But when do I get to make myself proud? When do I get to make a choice?
He starts laughing. That's the funniest thing he's heard this week. And he claps you on your shoulder. But for whatever reason, when that palm lands between your shoulder blades, you can feel two of your ribs rearrange. God don't like those jokes, boy. Maybe Mandy would be more patient with you.
But I don't love her.
But you're still going to serve her. Just like you serve God. Just like you serve me. That's a good wife. That's a good woman.
This isn't what I wanted.
Tell me, boy. What did you want?
Not this. I should have a choice.
You got choices.
Clearly not.
And he's looking over your shoulder. And when you look back, there's this worn, decrepit, decayed version of your father. And he takes two fingers and he runs underneath his nose and he sticks his fingers in his mouth. And then his hand wraps around to stick it down yours. And that's when you come out of that vision.
Ugh.
Eli, you step outside. There are black feathers, long, beautiful black feathers. They look like they may be a foot and a half, that are slowly dancing on a windless breeze as they spin to the ground. Some of these feathers have blood attached to the base of them. Some are just simply pristine.
Eli will immediately grab, as he's walking out the front door, the axe that we used to chop wood for the fireplace. Just maybe as an instinct. And he'll just kind of pick up one of the feathers and just realize it's not a turkey, it's not a chicken, it's not any sort of bird he's probably ever seen.
Nah.
And he'll just kind of walk out from where the feathers are raining down and just take a look around and see if he will instinctively look at the barn actually first to see if there's any damage to that. And then he'll kind of look around at the house, just kind of gather and see if he can see what, if anything is still here, that's causing these feathers to fall.
Oh, I like this. Roll me and observe a situation, please.
Okay. Observe a situation. That is perception.
It is, yep.
I actually put my points into that one. So
Hey.
that is a 13 plus 3, so that is 16.
Oh, I love it. You're asking 2 questions, and the questions are provided in a list below you.
Okay. First, what currently possesses the biggest threat?
The grain silo. You're looking at the barn, that red paint and a green roof, and the barn seems okay. You're looking back at your home, and the farmstead seems okay. But there's something lurking in your periphery, something that is clawing at the back of your soul. And for a moment there, Eli, you can't even make eye contact with the grain silo. Why would anyone need to make eye contact with the grain silo? It's a building. It's a building that almost predates the property, but there's this moment where you can't actually look at it. And you know that the grain silo is the centralized threat that's watching you. Even as you're watching the feathers begin to finish their descent, they seem more densely populated by the grain silo.
He'll immediately tighten his hand on his axe. And the second question is, what is being hidden from me?
Ooh. There's so many fun ways to approach that question. I'm going to say what is being hidden from you is that you have a new occupant on this farm. Something has moved into the family. Your family tree has been uprooted and it now toils in something different. Something else's home.
He'll cast a quick look back at the farmhouse and he'll just walk over towards the silo slowly, thinking in his head, okay, this isn't a tornado. This isn't anything like that. He doesn't want to go where he thinks he might go. So he's just going to continue to grasp his axe and keep moving, pushing his way because he knows he needs to check that and make sure, first of all, it doesn't blow up or it doesn't matter to anything. So that's where he's heading.
Okay. Your hand grips tighter on the axe and you put your hand on the metal grain silo door back into the main room, back into the dining room for Sunday family dinner.
Now that I'm sure that Ezra is okay, I'm leaning down, looking under the table, and just kind of this little bit of panic on my face. Gracie, Zach, are you all right? Kids? Please tell me you're okay.
Zach is hyperventilating. He is not really able to get words out. Like he's still in a excuse me, in a panic, but slowly calming down, but still just very lost in it.
I'm sorry. I usually can calm him down faster. I don't know why this is. I'm sorry. I can usually. He's so upset.
And I get down on my knees and slide under the table, and I start reciting, "The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want," just very calmly, but hyperventilating a little bit myself in between the lines. Like I'm trying to be calm, and I think I'm being calm, but you can hear the anxiety in my voice at the same time.
Yeah. Gracie follows suit. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. And she immediately, with a trembling voice, follows your lead. She falls in line. She follows you.
Zach, after a little bit of this, takes like a big deep breath and is able to stop hyperventilating. And he looks to Mom and he looks to Gracie and just his eyes are still like blown wide. What the fuck was that?
I don't know. Not a tornado or anything like that, but it's got to be some kind of natural event. Maybe something from the factory? I it has to be a natural event. Eli went outside. I'm sure he'll find out whatever it is. It's okay, babies. It's okay.
I imagine Silas is still kind of in a stupor, um, but he hears Gracie and he hears Mandy, and they are, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." I think it kind of starts at a very low volume, and then it kind of brings him out of his stupor, out of his stupefaction. And he kind of looks around the room, and he is deeply unsettled at this point. And I think he just kind of turns to his father and just as if like looking for an answer out of his mute father.
And you are met with the biggest smile that you've seen carved into the flesh of your father in the last 3 years since you paralyzed him.
Well, I hate that. I think I need to make a keep it together roll again.
I support you in this adventure. Let's roll a keep it together. As Ezra smiles at you.
Ooh, Silas is not going to do well today. That's a 6.
Oh.
So the strain is too much for my mind to handle. GM chooses the reaction, either cower powerless in the threat's presence, panic with no control of my actions, suffer emotional trauma, or suffer life-changing trauma.
You know what? We've already done the emotional trauma with the -2. I'm actually curious on what you would do with panic with no control on your actions.
Let's find out.
Okay.
1 through 10, I'm going to run away through the house.
Okay.
11 through 20, I'm going to run outside and just
Okay.
run and
And
just
just
book
run.
it to the field.
Okay.
That would be a 15. So I am booking it. I run straight out of the house. I rush through the door, just let it bang against the house.
Bam.
I don't know which way Eli's gone, but I am headed toward the cornfield.
Boy,
Full tilt.
We're splitting a party so early. I love this so much. Silas, you're full tilt towards the cornfields. What do you feel right now? What's clawing on the inside of your rib cage that's causing this involuntary response?
I am feeling my father's glee at my discomfort, both from the memory and in this moment. Like the rictus grin that he showed,
Mm-hmm.
just staring at me, like both of those situations are the same kind of powerless, like, I know he's enjoying this way more than he should.
No, I love that. And just very briefly going back and forth, I feel like not as hyperextended and haunting, but it was that same shit-eating grin that you had to stare down while you said vows to a wife you didn't love
Mm-hmm.
as he was sitting in the front row watching. I also feel like that's probably the same shit-eating grin that you would watch as a child, knowing that he just beat the ever-loving hell out of your mother, but was still able to stand up Sunday morning and give those sermons. I think it's also the same shit-eating grin that you've seen experience when he was coming at you again and again and again with the crack and the thrash of leather across any vulnerable part of you that he could find because you overslept or you didn't bring home a good grade or it was Tuesday and he just had too much to drink.
I'm
And I think
trying to
Mhm,
outrun my father. Yeah.
you're trying to outrun your father. Eli, you get to the grain silo. This is a cylindrical tower. It reaches 90 feet into the sky and is composed of concrete, brick, and wood. And when you open the door and you step inside, you recognize the standard ladders that go to the overhead springs. You see mounds of various grains The steel roof has the same edges and deep ribs and gentle slope, but it just looks like your grain silo. But something about walking into this place feels like you're walking into a temple of God.
Hilly immediately kind of touched the back of his hand where the black sheep tattoo is.
Mm-hmm.
Because, Mom was very upset when he got this tattoo. Of course, Father and Pa never said a word to me about it because they just really didn't give a shit. But he kind of feels a little remorseful that he hurt Mom a little bit by doing it. But then he'll kind of shake that off and just kind of walk around and go, "Hello? It's not a safe place to be."
The silence responds to you.
He'll walk over to where the mechanics of the inside is and just quickly check, make sure everything is in balance after all that. And that way he can breathe a little sigh of relief. But he's keeping a watch. He just feels like you said, it's a new feeling. This is not, usually he just walks in, does his thing, and leaves. But this time it's just something is haunting at him. Even though it's supposed to be the church, the feeling of a presence of something that's supposed to be good. He's rejected it from so long, and he's finding it hard to do that again.
You move about the silo. In your periphery, you think you might see grain shift, but grain shifts in silos. That happens. You hear the walls sing, but that happens with the wind. That happens with age. That happens with metal. You hear the roof cackle, and you know that you're being laughed at because you don't deserve to be in here. Not yet. But something's going to fix that for you soon.
Last chance.
The silence responds to you.
Fuck this. And I'll just kind of walk out.
I think that's a good time for you to walk out and see your father running towards the cornfields. That feels great for me. And for the good kids and the strong mother that are keeping their shit together and sticking together as a family should, Zach, you begin to calm down. Mandy, you finished the Lord's Prayer. And Gracie looks to you and she just sighs almost in relief because she feels like you've, again, navigated them through a terrible event. Are you okay?
Fine. Don't worry about me. We worry about you.
Okay, I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna call someone, okay? Because we should probably call someone and figure out, I don't know if the Wilsons experience this too, or if there's something on the news. And she's just gonna wrap around Zach a little bit tighter, and she's gonna almost fairly rub her face into his cheeks and kiss him on the side of his head. It's like, I'm gonna go make some phone calls, okay? You're gonna be here with Mom?
And he just nods.
Okay. All right. Fucking dork. Sorry, Mom. And she's going to crawl out from underneath the table and she's going to go disappear to make some phone calls because this couldn't be a singular event that just happened on your farm. That would be weird writing.
I would like to make an avoid harm roll because Zach dropped to the ground and it was covered in glass.
Don't threaten me with a good time. Let's do it.
All right. I got you got a 5.
Read it out to us, baby.
That'll be you were too slow to react or made a bad judgment call. Perhaps you didn't avoid any harm at all, or you ended up in a worse spot than before. The GM makes a move.
Ooh. Now we're going to do harm. Harm feels really amazing right now and it excites me. So talk me through the bleeding that you missed because your sister was applying pressure and had you covered up that is now actively weeping tears of blood.
As Zach kind of starts to level out a little bit more, he pulls his hands because he had gotten on his hands and knees to crawl under the table. He looks at his hands and there is glass embedded in his hands.
Ooh.
And where some had fallen out, it's bleeding, but there is some that is in there hard enough that it is not bleeding around it. And he can feel the same shards in his shins, in his feet. Even in like his forearms where he really got down there and started crawling.
Oh.
He's covered in shards of glass.
And Mandy, with Gracie disappearing, it's almost like the curtain of protection has fallen and you can see your child for how he truly is in this moment, which is shredded.
Baby, just stay right there. I'll get the first aid kit. Just don't move, please. Don't move. Zach, please. And I'll crawl out and run to the kitchen to get the first aid kit I keep in there.
Okay. You dart off to the kitchen, you collect the first aid kit. There's a feather that's come in through the open overhanging sink that's just, or the overhanging window that's sitting in the sink. And you're able to just push that away for a moment. And you collect the first aid kit. And when you come back to the dining room table, there's an extra place that's been set. And that's where Aggie would always have her dinner.
Kind of stop for a second, even in my urge to help my son, and just kind of stare. And I blink and I shake my head because this can't be real. No one was in here. No one set the table for an extra space. I'm imagining it.
You have to be imagining it, right? What was the last meal that you served Aggie before you allowed her to die?
Only thing that child would eat was chicken nuggets and mustard. Not even ketchup like a normal child. She had to have honey mustard. I could maybe get her to eat a little bit of fruit with it, but all she wanted was this, sorry, Lord, goddamn chicken nuggets.
And you know somewhere deep inside that that's a product of the abuse that she suffered under your sister. She was a junkie. After all, chicken nuggets is probably the best that she could put out for that child. Aggie probably grew up on chicken nuggets and Tostito pizza, and that's if she got lucky enough to have either of those. She wasn't used to the meals that you made from scratch, the slavery and the time that you invested to make sure that your family had good, nutritious meals. She was so abused that she couldn't even appreciate a home-cooked meal. She was relegated to processed dino chicken nuggets and honey mustard.
And she's lucky I gave her that. Sometimes children should eat what they are given. But I was too nice. Sometimes I gave her those chicken nuggets and honey mustard.
Children should be grateful for what's provided to them. And in somewhere, as you think of Aggie, there's a blink, and that place setting is still sitting there.
Is that a keep it together roll?
I feel really good about a keep it together roll right now. Bridgett does. I feel really excited about this moment in space and time.
Okay.
I think we all love that idea. Yeah.
I think we're.
Yeah. I love that idea. Very supportive table right here.
Big fans.
Big fans. Big
Okay.
fans.
Keep it together is willpower. So
Mav.
that is that's still a 9.
You guys are rolling spectacularly.
This is going to be a 2-hour game, Bridgett.
Didn't I tell y'all there was a chance that nonsense would happen, but it wouldn't be me?
But it's not intentional nonsense. The dice
It's
are
not
telling the story.
intentional.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Mav, I feel like I have to hit you with the life-changing trauma on this one all the way. I feel
Yep.
like we're
Absolutely.
here, we're gonna hold hands and we're gonna go all the way.
Mhm.
So this is gonna be a -4 to your stability. So knock your stability down by 4. Let me pull up oh shit, I don't have a character sheet pulled up really fast. Somebody talk me through what that looks like on your character sheet. Did it hit a
I
button?
got it.
Thank you.
-4 is going to be shaken.
Okay, I love it.
Yeah.
Will you link me that character sheet in the Zoom chat, please?
Oh, I guess I could probably do that.
And if not, hold on, I can open up Discord real fast. We're not live streaming. There we go. I got it. I got it, baby.
You got it?
I do.
Okay.
Thank you for the support. Okay, so we just knocked our stability through composed, uneasy, unfocused, and now we are under serious stress, and we are shaking. Here's what I feel great about, Mav, and you let me know if you have a better idea. But I feel like as you are looking at that plate, that empty plate setting, because you know that damn child wouldn't have eaten this chili. She would have wanted the chicken nuggets, and she would have cried, and that sound was so irritating and so ungrateful and so frustrating. Aggie died of pneumonia, correct?
Yes.
From exposure to the outside. So that child at 8 died shivering. Tell me how you feel when you embody an 8-year-old exposed to the elements fighting pneumonia. I think that's the -4 that you're trembling as she trembled when she died. What did that embodiment feel like as an 8-year-old died because you.
Oh, my hands start shaking. I drop the first aid kit and I start like wrapping my arms around myself to try and stop the cold because it feels like the cold that bites at your bones. I can feel it. And I'm shaking my whole body now, and I can feel the rain on my face, drenching through my clothes. I don't know where I am. I'm trying to get home. I'm trying to get back to the house, but I'm lost in this cornfield. And I can't see, I can't feel anything but the rain and the shivering. And I finally just sort of sit down and pull my knees into my chest, shaking, shaking, shaking so hard I can hear my teeth rattling.
Things got so much quieter and easier when that child died. And now you remember. No, you don't remember. Now you realize how that child died. I feel like this is a great time to send you guys to the next morning. Objections? I am happy to stay here.
I would like to do one more thing if that's possible.
By all means.
Eli likes to fix problems. You know, he sees something not working, he tries to fix it. He knows there's something here, but he can't put his finger on it. Would you mind if I roll and investigate?
No, I don't mind at all.
Okay. This is my turn now. 4.
I'm so proud of you guys. This is wonderful. You may get some information anyways, but you may pay a price for it. You expose yourself to dangers or costs, and the GM makes a move. Well, I am going to go ahead and expose you to some danger at a cost, and I am going to make a move. I'm going to choose from my list of moves right now. I'm going to announce an off-screen problem. Eli, you investigate the silo, and the silence responds. I can't say there's nothing here because you and I both know there's something here, but whatever it is that's here, you're unworthy of engaging with it. So eventually you're escorted out. I'm sorry, you walk out. But you and I both know you've been escorted out of a dwelling that you don't hold the power to occupy. Eventually, your father returns home. Eventually, mother cleans up this entire mess before bed. Gracie helps. Zach, you are bandaged to the best of the ability. You should probably be at somebody's hospital, but let's be honest, no one's making that trip tonight. And Eli, you are able to tuck yourself into bed. And the off-screen problem. There's a shadow that runs over the cornfields. And an infant, crying, drags itself out of the wet mud and begins crawling towards the house. And directly behind it, a young woman, 17, 18, with a blood-stained white dress, a baptism dress, drags herself out of the mud and also begins crawling towards the house. And I personally think that's a great place to take a 5 or 10-minute break. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our second portion of the silo. To open up this segment, I want to hear what your nightly prayer was. When you went to sleep last night after that event, showcase to us your prayer. And if your prayer was nothing, I want to hear you say it with your whole chest out. Who would like to go first?
Silas did not sleep. So he didn't pray. He just stared at the ceiling. I don't think he even, how do I put this? Despite the fact that he and Mandy were married without love being a part of the equation, there is certainly some love and respect that has become a part of the equation over the years. And I think there's I think right before bed is kind of like the only time where he is legitimately vulnerable, and it's specifically with her because of that love and respect. But I think this night, he somehow, like, there's some part of him that has turned off, and he doesn't even check in on her. Like, he just gets into bed and he stares up at the ceiling, and he's somewhere else.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is you continue to forsake God and you did not go to him for forgiveness or for support or for guidance. You went to the ceiling.
I have not gone to God for support in a while.
I want to hear the prayers of someone else. Who's next?
Mandy, I kneel next to the bed. I always kneel on the floor, no cushion or anything, because it's part of showing obedience and kneeling before God. And I clasp my hands, feeling a little worried about Silas because he's not praying tonight. At least I don't know that he hasn't prayed in a while, but he at least puts on the pretense, I think, of praying for her. And so I clasp my hands and whisper to myself, Most gracious Heavenly Father, I thank you for all your gifts and your blessings that you have given us, my family, Pa, our children, all of the food that you have blessed us with, everything that you've given us, another day on this earth. I thank you that my children are safe. I pray for Zach's wounds to be healed. I pray for Silas to find himself again. I pray that you will look on us with favor, that we will pass this test that you have put upon us, whatever this test might be, that we will be worthy of your love, worthy of all the gifts you give us. And I thank you for the tests that you put us through, because I know that you only test us to make us stronger and to love you more. In your holy name I pray. Amen.
Exceptional. Mandy, you have faith. You know that God is real. This is the first time you've ever felt heard. And that's a beautiful thing. I would like to hear another prayer or an acknowledgement that you chose not to pray.
So Zach hasn't prayed since he learned that Aggie died. But tonight he is kneeling on bloodied, shredded knees and looking into his bandaged palms, and he is reciting Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He refreshes my soul. He guides me along the right paths for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. Surely your goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever.
It's been a long time since you fell to your knees and asked for something. Maybe this would be a gift that we unwrap. Eli?
Eli will go to his room. His normal routine is to turn on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
He escapes through music. But tonight, he doesn't do that. He looks over at his bedside table. There are two things on it. One is the Bible, and one is a comic book. And he starts thinking the way he felt when he was escorted out of the grain cellar, or grain. He remembered that feeling one time, that he wasn't worthy enough. It was back when he was about 12 or 13, when he first started learning how to fix stuff. Really, he would really get into it. Father broke a part of the tractor accidentally. And Eli wanted to fix it. And he ran to him and said, Father, I'll fix this for you. But there's this comic book I really, really want. I really want it. And if I fix it for you, and if I do it right, can you go get it for me? And surprisingly, Father said yes. Eli worked on that for hours and hours. He got it fixed. He got it better than it was. Comes running out. Father, I fixed it. Father, I fixed it. Father just looked at him, handed him a little book. It was a comic book. Eli said, I wanted that Batman. He got him an Archie comic because he didn't care. He didn't listen. He didn't give a shit what his son wanted. But he wanted the tractor fixed, and it was fixed. So at that point, Eli just felt like he wasn't even part of the family, that he was just somebody here to do what nobody else wanted to do. He hasn't prayed in a long, long time. He picks up the comic book, slams it down on the Bible, turns off his light, goes to sleep.
The light goes off and there's a shadow that shifts on your ceiling. The following morning, per routine. Silas, you wake up. I'm going to correct that statement. You get up. Then you head downstairs to your coffee that you can make. Mandy, you wake and you see to Ezra that prayer that you prayed last night, it fits you like a bridal gown. You feel restored. You feel energized. And most importantly, you feel seen. And as you are bathing Ezra this morning, he does that thing that you've always so deeply enjoyed, where his two fingers slip beneath your skirt, between your thighs. He always had a way to arch your back in a way that your husband never could. And all of this feels right. Mm-hmm.
Honor your father and your mother. I've been honoring him for a very long time. And God has shown me it's right.
There are so few things that he can still do for you, Mandy. But he can still do this.
Mm-hmm.
And he delights in an ability to serve you in this capacity. Zachary, you're outside with Gracie. You are knelt down before the grain silo, and that's where you awaken in the morning. Every bandage, every taped wound, every stitch has somehow been reopened in the course of the night. And you find yourself washed again in blood. But your blood has served a purpose. Gracie is completely nude before you. And your blood has decorated her body like a canvas in symbols that mean everything to you, but they're completely foreign. You've never seen them before. They're crosses with an eye in the center. And this cross with this eye, you recognize your own handwriting, you recognize your own doodling, you recognize your own drawing. You have taken the blood from your veins and you have decorated your older sister from head to toe in this symbol. And you don't remember what somebody whispered to you when they taught you that symbol, but you can still feel it pulling at the hairs on the inside of your ear. You can feel that gentle caress. You can feel that tongue slipping in and pulling out. And there was a promise that was made to you. If you decorate the livestock the way you decorate Gracie, I'll remove the rot. But you wake up and you're on your knees in full supplication to the grain silo. You don't remember how you got out here. All of your wounds are reopened, but it looks like most of them have dried out, and your sister gasps in front of you as well. And it's probably about the same time that Mandy in the guest bathroom is hitting her climax. The three of you gasp in unison. Zachary.
I feel like this is a good time for a keep it together roll.
I feel great about that personally. What's the worst that could happen?
I'm rolling one in real life, just so you all know. I am getting hammered with shit right now.
So that'll be a 5.
Holy shit. Okay.
The strain is too much for your mind to handle. The GM chooses your reaction. Cower powerless in the threat's presence, panic with no control of your actions, suffer emotional trauma, or suffer life-changing trauma.
I think the life-changing trauma is where we got to go with the -4, and I think we should do exactly the flashback that we discussed. Does that feel like a good time?
Oh boy, does it.
Okay.
In that moment, Zach flashes back to the morning after Aggie died. The morning after he learned what had happened due to the behavior he was excusing, that he saw and he understood the gravity of, but refused to speak up against. The birds are chirping, the sun is shining, and he is in the grain silo at the edge of the platform looking down. Thinking about how everything would be over and he wouldn't have to feel guilty anymore if he were to just sink in it. He stands on that ledge until his name is called.
You know when you're standing too close to a ledge and something startles you and you feel the drop? Mom calls your name with all the affection that she bears to you but bore none to Aggie. That child is buried somewhere on this property. Lots of dead children are buried on this property, but we're going to get to that later. And you feel that startle as you almost drop into a pool of ravenous grains that will swallow you whole. But as you're flashing back into this moment, Zach, as you can feel the stability being pulled away from you, there's an 8-year-old girl that's crying your name from the bottom of this grain, drowning, shivering, cold. You also left her out there to die. You can blame your mother as much as you want. You knew she shouldn't have been out that late. She should have been in a warm bed. You let her die once by allowing her to be eaten by the rows of corn, and now you're letting her die twice by allowing her to be swallowed by the grain. And you blink and you snap out of it, and your sister, Gracie, is scrambling. There's a shame and shock and confusion on her face. She doesn't remember how she got outside. She doesn't know why she's nude. She doesn't understand why she's painted in this symbol. What? Oh my God. Oh my God. What? And she screams.
Zach is gonna quickly take whatever like shirt he has, because I'm assuming he's not naked. Um, he's going to quickly take off his shirt and give it to her. Almost just kind of like place it down over her because she seems like she is very, very panicked right now, and perhaps some modesty might help.
You drape her almost as a blanket in this shirt of yours that's stained with blood, but let's be honest, she's also stained in your blood right now. And she shivers. What happened? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Why are we out here? What did you do? What did you
I don't know. I woke up out here. We both woke up out here. I what the fuck?
Silas, there's so much happening outside of your kitchen window right now. You're not even halfway through that cup of coffee when you see your kids on the front lawn.
Working on no sleep and a lot of shock.
Mm-hmm.
I think Silas takes his coffee outside the way he normally does in his canister. And I think he walks outside and I think he sees his two eldest children. And I think his brain just kind of wrinkles and he doesn't know what to make of it.
Mm-hmm.
And he puts the coffee canister down and he begins picking up whatever black feathers exist in the yard. Just
Mm-hmm.
one by one, he just starts picking them up like Silas is not there. Like
Yeah.
Silas has compartmentalized to the nth degree whatever has happened to him. And so as he's doing this, he says, y'all should get inside. It's almost time for breakfast. And he just picks up the feathers. And I feel like we're going to need another keep it together.
I feel great about this, personally. Yeah. You go, we go.
Oh, boy.
We might be going to bed real early tonight, guys.
Ooh. So that's a natural 20.
Hey!
For a 21. So.
Well done.
Rip my teeth and stay the course.
You need to collect these feathers.
These feathers they're part of the problem. These are the problem. I need to fix the problem.
You need to fix the problem. And you pick up the feathers one by one by one. You pass your nude middle child and you look at Gracie. She has such vibrant, beautiful blue eyes, just like her mother.
But the hair.
The hair. That never made sense to you.
And her size.
Also never made sense to you.
Never. It was always weird.
But you know what? Right now we're focusing on the feathers. Let's just focus on the feathers. Gracie is going to look at you, mortified that she feels seen and ignored simultaneously. She's just going to nod, and she can't make eye contact with you right now, Zach. She can't make eye contact with you, and she bundles herself the best she can in your bloody, tattered shirt, and she's going to make a mad dash inside. I love the idea that about this time, Mandy is feeling quite refreshed and ready to start the day. Ezra seems perkier too, right as your daughter comes just soaring by, completely nude other than a shirt that you bought for Zach last Christmas.
Gracie! She just runs past.
Mm-hmm.
I just sort of shake my head and, well, kids these days. I'll have to have a talk with her later. It's hardly appropriate behavior in front of all the men. But, it's unlike her. But I'm going to put that aside for the moment and go make breakfast, because that's what you do next. Follow my routine. In order to keep things normal, I have to follow my routine.
Mm-hmm. Routine is everything. What's for breakfast this morning, Mom?
Buttermilk biscuits and gravy.
Biscuits and gravy sounds amazing. Ezra always did love your biscuits and gravy.
It takes a little bit longer because I didn't have time to prep them last night with all the everything going on, so I have to prep them this morning, but it's a labor of love.
It is a labor of love. And Eli, you're oblivious to everything that's going around you, but I bet you slept well last night.
I did. Yeah.
Bet you slept well last night.
He's going to get up, put on his overalls, put on his boots, walk by, say, morning, Mom, grab a biscuit and a cup of coffee, head out to the barn.
Oh, this is good. This is good.
Be careful out there. We still don't know what happened.
I didn't do it.
I know, sweetie. Not even you could pull this off.
Is that even more insulting?
That's cold as shit.
That is good.
It's cold.
That is okay. Yeah. No. Wow. Damn, Mav.
I guess Mandy's picking up where Silas kind of left off because he can't do
guess so.
shit right now.
Wow.
I wonder if I could join the baddie.
Okay. The day is going to continue, but I am curious. What does the day look like for our family?
How many feathers would you say exist in this yard?
Babe, you probably picked up maybe, I'll say almost 100. You have a massive bundle of this point of these big, long black feathers.
Okay. Um, I think after a couple of hours of hard work, like I would say around noon when the sun is at its highest and its hottest, I think
Mm-hmm.
Silas would kind of not come to, but like he'd finally be tired. I think he would
Yeah.
be physically exhausted. He's mentally worn out, and I think he's got these feathers. Um, I imagine there is probably some kind of a not like a pyre, but like a burn pit, maybe.
I love this for you. Yeah, of course there is.
You know,
On
like
this
maybe,
farm, for
yeah,
sure.
like somewhere out far behind the barn, like away
Yeah.
from anything that could catch fire. I think there might be something like a bonfire type area where the family might hang out on a nice spring evening. Um, and I think he would try to light this bag of feathers on fire.
No, no, that's perfect. Yeah, you're able to bundle them up. You saturate them in some type of fuelant, and you set the flames, and you start hearing a cacophony of the screams of various children as the feathers burn. As the smell of burned flesh crackles and pops, it just sings with a symphony of crying dead children from all over the grounds. The grounds beneath your feet suddenly feel sacred, they feel hollow, and you have the full recognition that you are standing on the souls of something that your family has done for generations. And I need you to please roll me a see through the illusion.
Oh boy,
Everything's fine.
I'm going back to the original die for this one. Okay. Oh no. Uh, well,
It was good
that's
playing with you.
yeah, it was a good time.
Hope you enjoyed the game, babe. We'll tell you how it ended.
That's gonna be a sweet 6.
Jesus, guys. The
Yep.
GM explains what you see, and you make a move. All right, let's go see what move I would like to make with you right now. I can capture you, I can separate you, I can put you in a bad spot, I can exchange harm for harm, I can announce off screen problems, I can announce future problems, I can continue to decrease your stability, I can deal damage, I can take your stuff. There's so many options. They give me so many fun things.
I, I
Offer an
s-
opportunity with or without a price. We're doing that.
I submit my entire will to your story.
You go, we go, babe.
Yep.
You go, you go, we go.
I'm in for whatever.
Okay. I like offer an opportunity with or without a price. I feel like that's a
It's
fun moment for
an
you seeing
interesting
through the
phrase.
illusion.
I like it.
I know, and like even without reading the description, I'm on board because of the phrasing is so strong.
Uh-huh.
I love Cult Divinity Lost. The feathers ignite into flames. Let me correct that. The feathers ignite into screams of children. Now, men talk. There are certain conversations and expectations and embodiments that men and families have. Now, your grandfather was known to have an exceptionally high libido and a reputation. Your father is known, the balloons at the most hysterical time ever, is known to have a very high libido, absent the reputation. You didn't necessarily catch that. That genetically didn't pass down to you.
I think I had seen enough of it out of
Uh huh.
both of them that I actively tried to go against that. I didn't want to perpetuate that particular trait.
Well, your father and your grandfather certainly perpetuated that trait liberally and aggressively. Those kids had to go somewhere. And as you are listening to two generations of forgotten, abandoned, and destroyed children screaming from beneath your boots, buried, discarded, hidden all over this property, you just happen to think Gracie's hair never made sense to you. And Zach is a spitting image of you. Or is he a spitting image of your father? And there on the pyre of screaming feathers, something manifests. Now, what something is something that I can't describe, but you know what heat looks like?
The shimmer.
The shimmer. The shimmer relays something to you between the beats of dead toddlers, dead children, a couple dead teenagers. You lose track of them at some point, but they always come home. And the shimmer offers you something, and it's fairly simple. If you decorate your wife with this symbol, I'll show you all the truth that you can stand. And the symbol is simple. It's a cross that has an eye in it. You've seen that recently. That feels familiar. No. Maybe you saw it in no. Was it in one of Eli's comic books on the cover? No. Did you dream it once? No. Movie? TV? No. Could it have been on your middle child's skin? No. That symbol seems familiar to you. But if you decorate your wife, it'll show you the truth.
I don't think Silas says anything to that, but I think he mulls it over seriously.
Eli, what are you up to for the rest of the day?
Well, obviously,
Father's off burning feathers.
The farm is fine, other than the broken windows that I had nothing to do with. So he's just going about his normal day. He's good. One of the other tractors is broke down, so he had to go get it, bring it into the barn, and it's got the door open like he normally does, let the breeze in, and is just hiding from the world like he normally does during the day. He's got his favorite radio station playing, and he's just kind of tinkering away underneath the tractor.
Good for you.
Mm-hmm.
There's an ad that comes on to your favorite radio station. What are you listening to right now?
Oh, it's country. It's WKFR, corn-fed radio.
Yeah. I'm writing it down. It's W what?
WKFR, corn-fed radio.
WKFR, corn-fed. Look at Nik's face. No, that's absolutely exceptional. So you're beneath the tractor, and one song aims. I'm sure it's Shania Twain, because of course it is. And the announcer comes on with WKFR, corn-fed radio, with a special message going to the Jacobison farm. Eli has won a special prize.
He'll stop. Make sure he didn't call in and win anything. And
wait a second.
What the fuck?
Oh, your mother's not going to like that. There's a penny into the swear jar for you.
Right. Okay. All right. Okay. Too many gas fumes. Yeah, that's what's going on here. Okay. He goes to make sure that the gas cap is tight on the tractor. And he'll just kind of look around and, hello? Shit.
The silence responds. Why do you continue to come up short, Eli? Why do you always pull the shortest straw? Why are you always coming up short? Why are you still unworthy?
Fuck you, radio. I'm the one who keeps this place fucking together.
You're right.
If it wasn't for me, none of this shit would work.
You're correct.
What the fuck am I talking to? Fuck it. Yeah, it's me. It's me. I'm the one that keeps this thing together. Not
Hmm.
my sister, not my brother, not my mom, but God forbid, not my father.
They never see you, do they? They never appreciate you. They don't understand that you're the mooring that keeps all of these bricks tied together. What happens when the mooring fades, when it disintegrates, when it vanishes, when it erodes?
Hmm. They wouldn't know what the hell to do with themselves.
No, they wouldn't. Do you want an opportunity to show them?
At this point, I'm going to try to see through the illusion because his leg is being pulled or something.
Go ahead and roll me that beautiful beam footage.
Okay, that's oh, this is going to be at -2. This is going to be lovely.
Everything's fine.
How about a 0?
You that's the lowest that we've rolled today, isn't it?
Yeah. I rolled a
That
2 and I'm at -2.
is brilliant. The radio isn't a radio. The radio isn't in this room. But something else is in this room. And where Silas had the comfort of a shimmer, you don't enjoy that comfort. You see what's truly there. It perceives you, it sees you, and that horrifies you as a 11-foot wreathed in black shadow and covered in eyes all stare and pulse at you as it continues to expand and grow bigger and bigger and bigger. You are getting ready to have a very fun day.
Okay.
I need you to roll a endure injury,
Okay.
and you're going to be rolling at a -4.
Oh. Ooh.
Everything's fine.
Okay.
Looking for that next lowest roll right now.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. My fortitude is 2, so
Okay.
I'm basically a -2.
You're at a -2.
Now let's see. I am at a 10.
Okay. You are still standing, but the GM picks one condition. The injury throws you off balance. You lose something. You receive a serious wound. How does Gadiel want to punish you for challenging to see him when you weren't ready? I feel like we got to go for the eyes here, Skip.
Mhm.
You made a
Okay.
choice to see what you weren't prepared to see. So let's burn your retinas out and see how that goes for us.
Okay.
Talk me through this injury. And are you okay with being blind for the duration of this game?
I'm good.
Okay.
Upon seeing that, 1, 2, 3 of the eyes just lock on to Eli. And we feel, or he sees for a moment what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But then he sees something else. Then he sees a gravesite.
Mm-hmm.
He sees several people standing around this open grave with a casket sitting on it. He sees his preacher crying over this casket. He sees the preacher's wife sobbing on her knees. He knows it's Sarah. He knows what happened. He doesn't feel, he doesn't care. He's just there because mom made him come. He didn't want to face it. He knew he was the cause. He knew he walked away. He knew he didn't acknowledge it. He knew because his parents, his father never acknowledged him. His grandfather never acknowledged him. Why should he acknowledge anybody? Why should he acknowledge his child? And just the sight of that casket,
Mm-hmm.
he just starts focusing on it. And just when that happens, the sun comes out from this cloud and strikes the silver that's on the top of the casket, and it just flashes right in his face. So the last thing he sees is the symbol of a cross on top of this casket, just burned into his retina. And he just screams.
I was going to say, you go blind,
Mm-hmm.
screaming. I'm going to insert one last thing that you see. It's almost peripheral. Don't worry, you don't have to worry about anything in your periphery anymore. But right before your retinas are burned out by this angel, you're looking over the pastor and his wife, doubled over, barreled in their grief, the daughter that they lost. And just a few rows behind them, you see Ezra standing with his family. And he reaches out and offers a hand to Gracie. And she steps forward. And as they are wailing over this coffin, he just begins to gently pet her hair approvingly. So we have screams that only Silas can hear on this altar and an offer. Eli, who's never been seen by his family, has now been seen by something magnificent. Zach and Mandy, what are you guys up to for the rest of your day?
I'm kind of going through like my bookkeeping and so on with a pleasant kind of glow almost. This is like God has seen me, and this is what Pastor Ezra told me since I was 15, that if I just did what he told me to, then God would be pleased and God would reward me. And now I feel like it's finally true. All these years of doing what I was told to do, what I was supposed to do, and now I can feel it. I can feel it so deep in my chest, in my bones, in every atom of my existence. And I go through my normal day. It doesn't mean anything to me that Eli and Silas aren't here at the moment because they've got things to do on the farm. They're busy. I do what I need to do, and I pray and I read my Bible, and I thank God for his blessings, and I know that more will come.
I love the idea, Mandy, that after you get the family through, those who choose to partake in lunch, the boys don't always come in for lunch, but it's there, an invitation, an opportunity, that you go back to those books and you start reconciling those numbers. Ezra is good at a lot of things. He's exceptionally careful with the way numbers run through the property. And that's something that he taught you. He's taught you a lot of things since you were 15. And as you are reconciling the books, there's something that teases at that prayer that you uttered last night when you were on your knees. And it somehow slips directly in between you falling on your knees in prayer and your back arching when Ezra was inside of you. And there's this sweet spot that connects, that if you use a symbol to reconcile some of the formulas, these books are going to line up a lot better. You know what the symbol is. You've never seen it before, but it's a cross with an eye in the center of it.
Of course, God sees all.
God sees all. He sees and he knows everything. And he knows your hardships. He knows the struggles that you are going through financially. He can alleviate that. You just have to admire this symbol. You have to submit to this symbol.
And I think I do. Whatever I'm feeling led to do. Just sort of hold out my hands and say, "Speak, Lord, your servant hears."
And you lose yourself, Mandy. You lose yourself in your faith. You lose yourself in your hope. But you also lose yourself in something invigorating, something new. A symbol that could save your farm. Gracie tried to attack this through litigation. Zach has tried to attack it through documentation. Eli has been doing everything he can just to hold the scaffolding up. And Silas has been trying to hold the entire family up. It could be you. It could be this ledger. You could be the turn point for the farm.
We were being tested, and now God is revealing the end of the test. We're going to pass. If we just believe.
If you just believe. You said last night on your knees that you were grateful for the test. Submit to the symbol. And you don't notice this, Mandy, because you see through a lens of faith, not through a lens of logic. You've abandoned that. But by the time you're finished and you just almost sleep the clock, we're like, oh, you need to start getting dinner ready. The entire ledger is nothing but this symbol. You've drawn it, you've etched it, you've carved it, you've ripped it, it's painted in ink, it's sewn in blood. The entirety of this ledger is this symbol, and you feel like you've done a good day's work. Hey, Zach, how's your day going?
Zach is currently standing in front of the livestock,
Okay.
remembering what he had heard about painting the livestock the way that he had painted Gracie. And he has a box cutter held to like the tip of his finger, where he knows he'll get good blood flow and good control of where it goes.
Is it safe to say you paint the livestock?
Safe to say I'm painting all of the livestock.
Eventually, that lightheadedness is going to kick in. You only have so much to give. But something feels pleased with you. You know that warmth that you feel when Gracie says that she's proud of you? When your mother says that you've done a good job? Or when your father gives you that nod of approval? Or cracks a stupid dad joke because he can't actually say that he's proud of you, but he can mask it in humor? You realize you would get a lot further if you just started cutting this into the farm animals. What would happen if you start carving?
May I propose?
Yes.
An act under pressure roll.
I am sold for an act under pressure roll. This feels great to me.
Lovely.
God, I would be so worn out in the morning. This is amazing.
Oh, where is that? So my dice still hate me.
I know they do. Look at God. Yep.
I'm at a 9.
Oh, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. There are serious consequences. You make a mistake or you're exposed to danger. The GM makes a move. Please stand by. Turn their move against them. Make a threat move. Take their stuff. Yep, we're going to take your stuff. That feels like a great move. The GM takes away or prevents access to something in the PC's ownership. They can possibly regain the possession or resource, but there's often a risk or a cost involved. You start carving. And the livestock begins dropping. What you lose is a nice chunk of your livestock. The cows may be able to tolerate the butchery a bit more, The horses, too. Some of these smaller ones, you can only carve so many symbols into a chicken before it bleeds out. You can only etch this cross and this eye into so many of the smaller animals before they bleed out. But you're doing good work. This is good work. You know what this is, Zach? As you're lightheaded. And what are you carving them with, by the way? What's in your hand?
Box cutter.
The box cutter. That's right. That's what you went after your fingertips with. As your hand is shaking around this box cutter, you can't help but to think culls are necessary. When you cull the herd, you promote a healthier ecosystem where the future can grow unburdened by things that weren't worthy to exist in the first place. And as that last chicken screams out, as you open through its chest, it's almost dinner time. You've had a good day of hard work.
Zachary's really hoping that dinner isn't chicken.
It's all going to depend on Mom. We'll see. She's been busy today, too.
We got plenty of honey mustard in the house, though.
Oh! Permission to roll you guys towards dinner?
Of course.
Everyone's at dinner except for Eli.
Where is that boy? It's dinner time. He should be here.
Where is he?
I don't know. You want me to call him?
Go.
Oh, sorry, Zach. Go. And then she says your name and she just looks down because she can't make eye contact with you. She's ashamed right now.
Zach is also very pointedly not making eye contact with Gracie. I can go check out in the barn. It seems to be, where he is if he's going to be late for dinner.
Yeah, could you please go check on your brother and bring him in?
He nods and he stands up and he pushes his chair in before he heads out towards the barn.
I think there's this moment where Silas watches Zach leave. He looks at Gracie. Looks over to Mandy. You've raised your children well. You're
Yes,
a good
we
mother.
have. Thank you. And you can see Mandy, I look more confident, like almost back to that teenage prettiness. Just the confident smile and the slight glow around the face, and just the posture, that kind of sadness and the weariness has fallen away. Just, I seem so much like I've come into myself at this moment, and just sort of regally accepting, yes, I have.
Zach, Eli is typically in one of two places, his room or the barn. You chose wisely to go to the barn. Eli, what does Zach see when they walk in? What does he see?
Eli is on his knees. He's got something around his eyes. He instinctively put something there. Bandana, whatever he had, a rag, whatever. And he's crying. Well, as best he can, since, and all he's doing is drawing eyes on the ground and just muttering, I'm sorry. and he's just constantly drawing an eye, and then he'll kind of instinctively draw instead of an eye, he'll put like a child's face with a smile as best he can because he can't see, but in his mind he's drawing it. I'm sorry, Isaiah. I'm sorry, Sarah. I'm sorry. And then he'll just stop for a moment and just continue to draw the eyes again.
Zach, you walk into the room, and this is what you see. All the dirt floor of this barn is covered in eyes. You're stepping in eyes and crosses. You know this symbol. You've seen this symbol. You feel like this symbol has been inside of you. You also feel like it's been inside of Gracie. Were you inside of Gracie? Maybe we don't want to think that direction, but you know this symbol. And when you look at Eli with this rag that he has over his eyes, there's pus and mucus and blood that's just running down from the top of his cheeks.
Zachary is going to look at some of the drawings on the ground, and in particular, some of the attempts at drawing a child's face, and they look mostly like face shape. They look butchered. They are not happy children. They are not alive children.
No.
And they are drawn in great detail. But as he sees Eli, with the bandana over his eyes, he's going to rush over to him and like kind of seeing that he's like muttering, just kind of like shake his shoulders a little bit. It's like, Eli, what the fuck are you doing?
I saw it. The casket. I can't see, but I saw. I can't. I don't know. I see her. I'm sorry.
Eli, what do you mean you can't see?
And with that, he'll just kind of pull back the blindfold or whatever it is and try to stare out where he thinks his brother is.
And Zach, you can immediately take a keep it together to the face.
I was hoping you'd say that.
I got your back, baby. I got your back. Sometimes I show up for you too.
This is my first double digits roll. Let's go. This is an 11.
11. Okay. The effort to resist instills a condition which remains with you until you've had time to recuperate. You get a -1 in situations. Which do you choose?
I become scared. I am showing myself as a coward for the second time since all of this has started happening.
And you feel fear when you look into the scorched, pussy, bloody retinas of your baby brother. Too bad a hospital isn't close. But he looks stable enough for now. And by the way, Skip, that's a -2 on your harm table, by the way. So your wounds are going to drop down to serious wounds. You're at 2. Zach, what do you do with your baby brother? Feels like you're losing siblings one by one today.
He is going to take the bandana, the cloth, whatever was wrapped around his baby brother's eyes, and he's going to try to find like
Observe a situation.
A source of water to just like get it at least like fresh,
Yeah.
so that he doesn't have like this crusty piece of fabric on
You know,
his
there's
eye.
an eye wrench station somewhere in this bar because safety matters. You got to pass that inspection.
But he knows that eye wash station hasn't been tested since the day it was put in.
Right?
I think we're gonna run for that well.
Everything will be fine. It's perfectly fine. Yep. Nope, you're good. So I won't even mess with you too much on this one. You're able to collect water from the well. You're able to bring it back to your brother. You're able to rinse some of that baked in debris off of his face.
He's got his brother's face held in one hand and is very gently trying to get all of the pus and the mucus and the blood off of his face very gently with the other. And he is purposefully not making eye contact that his brother can't even see. Because he can't look into eyes like that.
Mm.
Eli, what did you do?
We met in the barn. She would come over all the time. It started when she brought her dad's that old pickup, the Reverend's old pickup, it wasn't running right. So I fixed it. I should have been fixing the other tractor that day, but I didn't care. And so we just started talking, and one thing led to another, and well, 2 months later, she said she missed. And I'm like, missed what? And she told me about the baby. And it's like, I just didn't give a shit. I just didn't give a shit. I should have been the happiest person on earth. Father's treated us like shit since we were kids. I should have not. I should have been different. But no, I didn't care. And then I didn't get a chance to say I'm sorry. I didn't get a chance to do anything. She's just gone. I didn't realize. And now, whatever the hell that was, it just, all the eyes, it made me see what I didn't see before.
Mm.
I'm sorry. It's here.
What's here?
That thing, the feathers, the feeling, the wind, the glass. It's here. I've seen it. It didn't want me to. And it punished me.
We need to get inside. We need to get you out of this fucking barn. And he is going to try to hoist Eli up just like under his arms and just like get him at least standing.
Yeah. Yeah. You're able to get him up and you're able to initiate this slow, painful march back towards the farmhouse.
And he's gonna while they're walking, put the cloth back over his eyes.
As you are walking, Zach, and Eli stumbles, you look at a patch of rot right on the outside of the barn. And the dried, brittle pieces have fallen almost decoratively onto the ground, and you see new growth. At the dinner table, Gracie is doing her best to nibble away at Mandy. What did you prepare for dinner tonight?
Brisket.
Brisket. Whew, you were hitting it close on that one. Okay.
Yeah.
So she's doing her best to toy at the brisket, where basically her fork is moving through the tender, smooth meat, and she's mostly just kind of like decorating her plate with it more than she's actually consuming it. Mom, Dad, I think something's wrong. I woke up this morning naked in front of the grain silo, and Zachary was painting me in blood. And I just find it strange that we're not talking about that. And she pushes at some mashed potatoes.
I turn to look at Mandy, confused.
Naked, and I was ashamed, and I hid myself. Quoting Genesis at her.
Wow. Yep.
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 Fucking mad at the table, goddammit.
Bro.
Yep. Dad saw me, and He just kept picking up feathers, and I think we should be talking about that too.
Sorry, I saw you.
Yeah, Dad, I was kind of hard to miss. You looked dead at me.
I'm I'm sorry, Gracie. The morning is it's been a bit of a blur. I I don't remember seeing you. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I don't understand how I could have missed that.
Okay. I think something's really wrong.
What kind of something?
Oh. Zach painted me in his own blood. These symbols.
I'd like to read Gracie.
Oh, yeah. Let's do it. Hold on really fast. Let me hop over to this really fast. We are doing a read a person.
Yep.
Yep. Let's do it.
Oh boy. Okay.
And this is your baby. I'm actually going to give you a +2 on this one.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
It's gonna be a 5.
Oh, good for you. You accidentally reveal your own intentions to the person you're trying to read. That's pretty good. And the GM makes a move. What are your intentions right now?
I'm legitimately trying to figure out what she's talking about. Like
You're like, who?
I'm truly trying to figure out what the truth is.
Okay.
Because it's been such a weird morning, and this is such a weird thing for me to hear.
Yeah.
That my daughter was found out in the yard covered in blood, naked, with one of my sons. Like it's a lot of weird all at once.
It's a lot of weird all at once. Oh, I like this. Let me go reread this. Read a person. You accidentally reveal your own intentions to the person you're trying to read, which means you're basically revealing to her that you think she's lying.
Yeah.
Okay, that's going to work out great for us. All right. Tell the GM player what these intentions are. You're trying to make sense of nothing, and the GM makes a move. Okay. I think what I like the most in this situation is you're looking at Gracie going, Gracie's not really a prankster. She's never been like that one that tells tall stories. She's never been into like fantasy or high delusion. So this is doing a lot.
Yeah.
And you don't know where she's going with it, but you're convinced that she's storytelling somehow. And the longer you look at her, the more you realize that this is absolutely not Gracie. You haven't seen Gracie since yesterday. Now, whoever's sitting at this dinner table talking to you right now is not your middle child. It doesn't move like Gracie. Now that you're listening to the way she speaks, it doesn't speak like Gracie. This isn't your child.
Oh boy. Does this feel like the right kind of moment where I would try to see through the veil?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Because that worked out great for Skip.
Yeah.
I mean, it worked out so amazing for Skip. So, yeah, something teases at the periphery of your reality, and we're going to see through the illusion.
Oh, this is my best skill with a -2.
What's the worst that's going to happen? Everything's fine. Math!
So that's going to be a 9.
You guys are doing so great.
Yeah.
It's better than my 0.
It is.
Not by much, man. Not by much. Not according to the sheet. It's not.
Oh my God, Jesus! This is going to be a short game. I'm happy for y'all. I'm not mad about it at all. We're good. So at a 9, the GM explains what you see, and makes a move.
Mm-hmm.
Capture someone, put someone in a bad spot, separate them, exchange harm for harm, announce off-screen problems, announce future problems. You're going to have a few of those. Decrease stability, deal damage, take their stuff. We've done the consequences and the ass, an opportunity. Let's go with Hold on, I'm looking, baby.
I'm very patient, trust me.
Because this is too opportunistic to throw it away.
Mm-hmm.
Capture, put someone in a bad spot. Oh. The way I kind of want to do off-screen problems, but I'm not going to. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Okay. I guess let's just have a good time at it. Do we all have -2 in soul? I was like, no, I at least took a 0.
Somebody was smart.
Silas, you look at the chair where not Gracie is sitting. And you see... This is see-through the illusion, so you're going to see exactly what it is, right? Yep. You see what I described earlier. Mm-hmm. Sitting in a human-sized chair is something inhumane, something oversized, something gargantuan that is thick and velvety in its blackness. And you're very familiar with the texture of this blackness and the visuals of this blackness. You've been picking up its feathers all day. There are eyes, so many eyes, too many eyes that look directly back at you. And there is something sitting at your table that doesn't belong here. And then you realize very quickly, no, it belongs here. And it's waiting on you. And I'm getting ready to hit you with a keep it together. But just before, I'm going to tell you exactly what's happening with Gracie. Gracie is on the table and she's been opened by the ribcage. The brisket that you all are enjoying is plated beautifully, almost immaculately, inside of her. And her head is rolled back and her eyes are looking directly at you. And now you can roll your keep it together.
I don't think I'm going to succeed on that.
You know what? You've already disassociated once. You never know.
Well, that's a very good point. That's a very good point. Okay. Okay.
You're not going to succeed on this, are you?
God, I hope not. That's a natural 20. That's... Silas has got problems.
Silas is the problem. You grit your teeth and you stay the course. Mandy reaches into her child's rib cage and pulls out an extra serving of brisket to place before Ezra. She'll be spoon feeding him this succulent brisket here very shortly. And eyes and feathers just continue to pulse and look directly at you.
I just continue to stare at them and eat my brisket. I'm sorry, Gracie. I don't remember seeing you this morning.
Do you see me now?
I see you very well. I'm sorry I missed you.
And she nods. And is that a sincere apology, Silas?
Yeah.
And the occupant that's sitting in Gracie's chair, serves itself more brisket from out of Gracie's ribcage.
Do you mind serving your father?
Dutiful daughters do as they're asked.
That's
and
a good girl.
Eyes and darkness serve you a mighty helping of your own child. I think that is a great time for Zach and Eli to come in.
Zach is gonna have Eli leaning into his shoulder, just trying to get him to walk in some sort of straight line. And as he opens the door, the first thing he's going to yell out is, Mom, Eli's hurt.
What happened? What happened?
Something happened in the barn. His eyes are not normal.
Not normal. What does that mean?
They're everywhere.
He's gonna bring Eli over to his mom and take the cloth off of his eyes.
Like Saul on the way to Damascus.
It's here. You- you- Snap out of it. It's here. Can't you see it?
Boys, you should sit down and eat with your sister.
My sister?
It's dinner time. We eat as a family.
It's mom's one rule.
I guess we do everything as a family. Right, sis? You know, you and Grandpa did, right?
The eyes just swing, enjoying the feast of everything that's happening.
I help Eli sit down. Don't worry, son. It's a test. The scales will fall from your eyes and you will be reborn in God.
You just have to believe, Eli. You just have to submit.
If heaven looks like that, I don't want any part of that shit.
Language.
The angel moves the swear jar in front of Eli.
Dave.
It's Mav's fault for introducing that prop.
My favorite NPC in this game is the swear jar.
Yes, for sure. For sure. So how was everyone's day?
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
Language. Not at the dinner table.
What the hell? I have no eyes, Father.
What do you mean you have no eyes?
Look at me.
Your sister told me that she found herself naked outside. I don't remember seeing her. What do you mean you have no eyes?
I have no eyes because I saw it. I saw it for what it was. Evil.
Take the bandage off, son. Not at the dinner table.
I'll remove the bandage.
So technically, Silas, he does have eyes. Technically. Now the retinas have been burned out, like fried, almost like they were removed, put in a microwave, kept in for too long, and then stuck right back into his face.
Jesus.
But he does have eyes. That was an exaggeration.
So they look different, but not like horrifically.
Oh no, they're horrific. No, this
it
was
is horrific.
scorched.
Okay.
Yeah. This was absolutely scorched.
Okay. I mean, I
So
feel
you're
like
looking at pus and blood and scabbing and.
Yeah, I feel like this is another hold it together.
I like this for you. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's go together. This is keep it together for you.
Yep.
I like it. Let's do it.
Oh, let's try a different one. Let's see what happens. That is gonna be a 13.
I like this. Okay. Which condition do you choose?
You know what? Um, I think there's going to come a moment where I realize that Eli has been telling the truth, not just in this moment, but in many of the ones prior to this
Mm-hmm.
where I have been critical of him. Like there are certain gears that are turning in my brain now, and I'm realizing that Eli has actually been the one keeping the farm together. So I am going to become guilt-ridden.
Guilt-ridden.
Yeah.
Great decision.
Yeah.
Fantastic decision.
I'm sorry, son. I'm sorry that I didn't believe you. Um, how can I help? How can we help you?
Kill it. Get rid of it. Get it away. Look at it. Run. Do something. I'm the biggest of the family, and I couldn't do shit.
Well, what? What are we talking about?
It's eyes everywhere. It it's the I can't even put it into words, Mom. It's something the devil would have sent, not heaven.
Now. When I look over at Silas, do you know what he's talking about?
Our boy's clearly injured. We should get him to the hospital.
I have a suggestion.
Grace?
And again, it's just
Mm-hmm.
a veil of eyes, unblinking eyes that look to you, and then sweep across the table in multiple directions, just absorbing everything. And she looks to her mother adoringly. She smiles. You always taught us that confession was good for the soul. I think maybe we should confess our sins as a family to purify us for the next test, like a ritual.
The next test.
There's always a next test.
Rob went through many tests before he received everything and more back.
Should we hold hands?
Can I roll to see through the illusion?
Oh God, yeah. Come with me, baby.
Yeah, because this is weird coming from my daughter,
Mm-hmm.
and because she's not the most Christian.
No, not at all.
She's living with her boyfriend before they get married.
I know the disrespect of it all.
Come join us on this side of the veil.
Right.
We have such
We have-
sights to show you.
Right.
And t-shirts. We have
And
t-shirts.
And
T-shirts, yeah.
t-shirts. We got
And
merch.
t-shirts.
I got a 19.
Okay, a 19. So you perceive things as they truly are. Mandy, that's not your child.
Mm-mm.
By any means. This entire room is covered in a wallpaper of twitching black feathers. The ceiling is covered in feathers. The floor is covered in feathers. The walls are covered in feathers. And between every feather is an eye that is darting around and looking and watching and observing and looking and watching and observing. There's a shimmer where your daughter is sitting that you know is an extension of the atmosphere around you, but that's not Gracie. Gracie is opened up on the table right now with her ribs completely open, and that's where your brisket is sitting, and the mashed potatoes and the gravy and the lemonade punch bowl. That's all sitting inside of her rib cage right now. That is what you actually see. And it is beautiful. But you're also going to endure some injury. So let's go ahead and talk about that too.
Of course.
A feast like that of Jesus and the apostles.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's definitely your Last Supper. I can promise you guys that.
I was gonna make that
Were you on your
reference,
way to
but I'm
that
glad.
joke?
Yeah, we're on the same brain cell,
We're
Bridgett.
in sync, baby. Always. How'd you do with your endure injury?
Oh, right, I forgot to roll that.
Oh no, you're good. You're good.
Okay, what is injury plus?
Plus fortitude minus harm.
Plus fortitude.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so I've got a +1 in that. So that makes it a 13.
Okay, with a 13, you're still standing, but the GM is going to pick one condition versus going physical damage like I did to Skip. I'm actually going to jump over to the other table and do the keep it together.
Okay.
And I'm going to pick one of these for you. And I feel like obsessed feels amazing. Plus one relation to whatever caused the condition.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was going to propose that.
Yep.
So I think I fall to my knees and I say with reverence, I am the servant of the Lord. May it be done unto me as you have said. Repeating what Mary said to the angel Gabriel.
Yes! 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 Flawless. And there's a twinge, there's a twinkle, and whatever this is, this angel, it wants you all to confess, and it will reward those who choose to confess.
And I look over at Silas and I take a deep breath. They were never your children.
I know.
I thought you might. We only got married because of Zach. Pastor Ezra told me to, that we had to. And it never stopped.
Never?
Never.
Where is Father Ezra right now?
Sitting at the seat of the table where he belongs.
Okay.
You can feel that smile in your periphery. You don't even have to look at him.
Hold, please.
PvP enters the chat in 3, 2.
Hello, Silas would like to engage in combat.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's what we're going to do.
Okay, I love it. You go, we go. Let's do it.
Okay. Silas stands up very calmly. You would be forgiven for thinking that it was still him in that kind of near catatonic state that he's been walking through the last 24 hours in.
Yeah.
And he's still sitting between his father and the rest of the family. And he stands up and with a 17, he looks down at his father and smiles and says, I forgive you, Dad. And then punches him.
I like this. You hit a 17, which means you inflict damage to your opponent and you avoid all counterattacks.
Yeah.
And this is an old man that you put into this wheelchair. Just take narrative. If you want to kill him with this punch, I'll allow it.
I don't think it's just one punch. I think it ends up being the kind of red mist that
Mm-hmm.
covers a person when they lose complete control.
Mm-hmm.
There's no more rationality inside that person's mind. And I think you watch as Silas just mercilessly like takes all of the last 20, 30 years, 40 years of dealing with his father and throws it behind every hit until the smile disappears behind broken teeth and blood and bruised purpling skin, um, as the family watches.
Well, okay. Most of the family watches,
Most of the family.
which is valid. Eli, I'm not going to waste your time with a keep it together. You can hear the sounds of violence going on in the background, but you know what? That's in the background for right now.
Mhm.
We'll just leave that there. Mandy,
Mm-hmm.
part of me wants to say the person that you love probably most at this table is being sacrificed in front of you, but I chose that word specifically versus murdered. How are you dealing with this particular moment? The angel seems delighted.
Mm-hmm. Well, the angel of the Lord isn't interfering. This must be what God wants to happen. It's there was some sin, and the sin is being purified, and clearly Silas is working out his sins as well. But if the angel of the Lord isn't interfering, then I'm just I look to the angel and I just sort of nod and look back at Silas and I start praying.
Zach, it's a lot going on right now at the dinner table, babe.
Yeah, sure is.
There's a lot going on. You're watching your father brutally murder your grandfather. Mom seems okay with it. Gracie is watching politely, and Eli may or may not be clocked in or clocked out right now. How are you doing?
He's I confused.
Yeah.
Because that's not like Gracie.
No.
That's not like Mom.
No.
I don't think I'm entirely surprised that Silas is enacting violence upon Pa, but
You
this
should probably
volume
call
of
him
it,
Dad. Sorry.
yeah, that father is enacting violence upon Pa, but this level of it is unpredictable.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Zach is gonna try to see through the illusion.
Welcome to the other side of the veil, baby. Come join us. We've got
Welcome
cake
to
and
the
pie.
club.
We've got cake and pie. See through
Come
the
on
illusion,
down.
baby.
And I've
Spin the
got a
wheel.
got-
-2 here.
I'm so proud of you.
Yes.
Fucking love
That'll
it.
be an 8. So the GM explains what you see and makes a move.
This family
This-
is unfucking stoppable. I love it.
Y'all are on fire, honey.
We're doing great. We're
We're
doing
doing
great.
so great. You're doing amazing. Okay, this is gonna be good. This is gonna be good. At this point, everyone is on the other side of the illusion, right? Per the way I've written this. Okay, this will be cute. We're good. We're good. So you see what I've already described to you, Zach, or what I've described to Mandy. The feather covered walls, Gracie opened up on the table. That's where you've been getting your brisket from. The only thing that I'm going to say is slightly different from you, and this is going to be the move, is that there's a brief break in the feathers that you can see, and it opens up to a window, the dining room window, that looks dead down the sights of the grain silo. And you just inherently know, which is my move against you, that that's where all of this ends. It's where it began. And it's where all of this is going to end. And Gracie looks to you. Now, I'm saying Gracie. Just the head on the table rolls. Her mouth opens and black feathers spill out. And she says to you, confess.
Can I roll a keep it together on top of this?
Yeah, you absolutely can. You go, we go.
Oh.
Did you just ask to roll multiple times? That's never going to be a no.
You threaten me with a good time and Kult Divinity loss?
So that'll be plus willpower, which is 1, but since I am shaken, that'll be a -1, so it evens out. I'm at an 8. So the strain is too much for your mind to handle. The GM chooses your reaction, cower powerless in the threat's presence, panic with no control of your actions, suffer emotional trauma, or suffer life-changing trauma.
I'm sorry, we got to go here. We're going to
Yeah,
go. We're going to do the life-changing trauma for the negative 4 stability. Does
let's
that
go.
take you out the back door?
That
Yes.
takes me to...
Does it take you irrational?
Take you
unhinged, broken?
irrational.
Ooh, you are so close. You're so close. You're so close. Aggie died because you didn't have the courage to stand up to your mother. Your mother let that girl die, and you should have died in the grain. You were standing at the top of the scaffolding. You were looking down. All you had to do was let go, but yet again, you are too much of a coward to even just do that. You can fix that now. You can't fix Aggie. Gracie is gone. But you can fix that cowardice. You can surrender. You can let go. You can submit. You know where you need to stand. You know what the cold steel will feel like beneath your palms. And you know exactly the feeling, that hurdle that you can leap over when you just let go and allow yourself to fall. It's already showing you the path. It's right there. Stop running from yourself.
I think Zach's not going to say anything, and he's just going to start walking towards the great silo. Walking with the peace of he knows what he's doing and he's made his decision. He's not running. He's walking.
Zach rises from the table. He doesn't even excuse himself. How rude. But he's walking towards his purpose. Gracie watches him go. He didn't confess. Yeah. And then she's going to look over to you, Eli, and somehow inherently you know that it's your turn.
I would like an act under pressure roll at this point.
Oh, I'm here for this. Let's do it.
Okay. So I roll coolness.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm at a +1 for that. 16.
You do what you intended.
Do I have a sense when I walked in? Do I have a sense that I know where I am in the kitchen?
Yeah, you know you're sitting at the dining room table.
Okay, so
Yeah,
I know.
they put you down. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I hear Zach get up, right?
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Okay. I'll confess. And he'll stand up as best as he can.
Yeah.
I abandoned them. Like Dad abandoned me. Like Grandpa abandoned me. Like Mom abandoned me. But I don't give a shit for what you are or what you represent. I'm good at what I do. Or did. Because I'm a Jacobson. That's what we do. And he'll start trying to walk towards the outside door. It's time to say goodbye. And he's going to try to make it to the grain silo because he knows exactly what to do and what will happen if he does it. And then we don't have to worry about this shit anymore.
You stumble, you trip, you fall over the physical obstacles, but not your confession. And then the eyes look at you, Silas.
Before Eli makes it out the door, I say to him, I may not be your father, but you're never not my son.
Ooh, that guilt-ridden hit hard.
Yeah. And I am sorry. I didn't know how to be better than the men of this family that came before me. And I just failed. I didn't know how to do it. And I'm sorry. You're a good man. You've done well. And you've taken a lot of shit that you didn't deserve.
Pat, you did the best you could. But it has to stop.
It does. It's probably too little too late at this point. But I mean it.
I love you, Dad. And I'm sorry.
You have nothing to apologize for. I love you as well. Go do what you feel you need to do.
Zach and Eli are heading towards the grain silo. Gracie is going to unclasp her hands from her lap, and she's going to look at her parents, and she's going to say simply, Grandpa had me kill his whore girlfriend and the baby. We couldn't have that type of embarrassment on the family. I'm going to go to the silo now. And the feathers retreat from the room, and in a blur of blackened eyes, the room is liberated from the presence of this entity, and it moves directly in through the top of the silo and drops out of view, leaving the adults at the dinner table. Dead Pa, a bruised and beaten in grapefruit in a wheelchair. Silas and his wife Mandy.
I think Silas just kind of stalks over to the kitchen sink. Doesn't say anything. But he washes his hands very slowly. Soaps them up. Scrubs them. Makes sure to get all the blood off. Dries his hands. Turns around to look at his wife. Says nothing and then just walks out the house. And I don't think he goes to the silo. I think he takes the same path he took the night before through the cornfield.
As Silas leaves, I respectfully cover Pa's body with the tablecloth, just move everything away and cover him. And, and I pat his battered hand and say, "You always told me I was one of the Lord's anointed. I'm glad you got to live to see that it was true." Rest in the Lord, Pastor Ezra. Well done, thou good and faithful servant. And I also leave the house, pick up my Bible on the way, and walk towards the silo.
Winding down. Silas, you step out of the house with pristine, clean hands. You've confessed. You've killed your father. And as you move down a familiar path of fear, you partake this journey with a certain degree of courage. And as you move, the ground on either side of you opens, and you can see the remnants of your father's sins and your grandfather's sins and the entire legacy of your family. That's anything that's been buried on this property, rightfully, wrongfully, murdered, natural causes. It doesn't matter. They all populate, clawing themselves from the moist earth, the enriched earth, the unpoisoned earth, the uncursed earth, and watch you move by. As you enter into the cornfields, you do pass that crying 8-year-old girl, Aggie, your niece. And she looks up to you, ducks heavy with tears, cuts along her face where she was running through the cornfields at night, cold and wet, trying to get home. You smell that oven scent of chicken nuggies and that undeniable scent of honey mustard as her eyes watch you as you move by.
There's no family left here, child. This isn't a place for you. You got lucky.
And her knees pull in as she just drops her head onto her forehead onto her knees because she knows you're telling the truth. Where do you go, Silas? You're not running from your father this time. You're running towards something. Where are you going?
I am walking towards... I think I'm going to the Wilsons because they're the closest house to us. And I think my intention is to have them call the police and explain that my father and my grandfather may have been engaged in certain activities for which they might find proof all over the land.
I think I'm going to sunset in with you. But before we get there, I think the best order is going to be Zachary, Eli, and then probably Mandy, because Mandy's full gone. Zach, you enter the silo. Now, you're on the other side of the veil, correct? Okay. When you enter into this very familiar silo, you recognize that whatever this entity is has cultivated the silo into a temple of submission, sacrifice, and worship. Once the veil is pierced, which for you it is, the space feels hollow, cold, and yet somehow inviting, which is particularly unique for you. The interior steel panels audibly reflect the distorted liturgical songs of a distant angelic chorus. Holy symbols, very familiar holy symbols, line nearly every interior surface of the walls. The center above eye of the silo, when viewed from the interior, blinks at you. It doesn't reflect the sky above. It's a swirling void that feels insatiable and ravenous. You enter into the silo, and your hands clasp metal bars one by one as you begin to climb.
As he climbs, he's going to say some of the first words he's spoken since piercing that veil. Into the silo at whatever it is that's in there. It has been years since my last confession. As he climbs, I am as responsible for the death of Aggie as my mother is. My cowardice led to the death of my 8-year-old cousin, and for that I can never be redeemed. And as he's climbing, does he get to a spot where he is at the edge of a platform?
Yeah, if you climb to the very top, you know that half moon disc of a platform that surrounds the interior of the silo. You can go right to that ledge. You know that ledge. You've been to this ledge before. You're not alone on that ledge this time. Aggie is standing next to you and she looks up to you. And there's almost forgiveness in her eyes. Her skin is fat and heavy with water. So are her lungs. Her hair is matted with dirt and debris and corn. Her skin is cut, but not bleeding. And she smiles at you.
He's going to kneel down and kiss her bloated forehead. And if he is not stopped, he is going to be stepping backwards off into the grain.
And you fall. The grain is softer than you possibly imagined with an impact of this height. Or maybe that's just the shock that crushes through your body upon impact. It's a quiet thud. And then the grain eats you alive. Eli, you fumble, you stumble, alone, always alone. Off of that winding front porch onto the moist grass, on your way to what you believe is the silo. You don't have to see it. You can feel that holy temple. You know the direction that you have to go.
He will immediately, as best he can, go to where the silo filters out that gas.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll stop that filter.
Okay. I want you to roll me a act under pressure.
Okay.
I'm going to hit you with a -6 on this one for being completely blind trying to do this.
Okay. What makes me a minus? It's going to be a 14.
Okay.
I'm sorry, 13. I apologize.
13?
13. Yeah.
You do it but hesitate, are delayed, and must deal with a complication. The GM reveals an unexpected outcome, a high price, or a difficult choice. I'm going to pause for just a second as you're fumbling with this, and you hear your mother entering into the silo. Mandy, You know where you have to go.
I'm walking and I'm praying, but I've also cut my palm and I've drawn that symbol on my face.
Yes.
And I'm repeating to myself, Mandy, blessed are you among women.
So, Eli, you hear this in the background. You can hear your mother saying this. You anoint yourself with this holy oil. Your blood is a holy oil. You appoint yourself with the symbols of your worship, Mandy. And I've already described this to Zach, but I'm going to give you something different. You recognize a holy presence inside of this silo. You hear a grieving, but a celebratory, angelic chorus that reverberates on the inside of these metal sleeves that run up and down the silo. And as you enter and you look up at the eye, it looks through you. And I'm not going to waste your time with a see through the illusion. You are going to bottom out of it in this particular moment. And the eye sings to you. To submit is to suffer. To suffer is to live. Join me in submission and celebration, or die and pave the path for others who follow. Do you, Mandy, submit to me?
I drop to my knees and just sort of bow forward.
You submit, and submission comes with celebration. You feel a pain that runs through you, but it is electrifying and comforting. It's eternities of how many more you can save, how many more you can expose, how many more you can bring to submission. You feel yourself elevate, you feel yourself ascend, you feel yourself become more. You are a appointed disciple to Gadiel the angel, and you have so much work to do. Now, Eli, I'm going to give Mav an opportunity to close out however she wants this realization, this moment to happen with Mandy. Your difficult choice, if you set this silo on fire, you're going to kill your mom. And you know that. So I'm going to go back to Mandy.
I am awash with this realization and the understanding that I have been found worthy, that my submission, as I have been submitting since I was 15, is enough. And I pick up my Bible and I hold it close to my chest and I say, "Here am I, Lord, send me."
And Eli, you hit, I think it was a 13 on that act under pressure. So you can do this, but you'll be responsible for the death of your mother.
He takes a deep breath. And for the first time in years, he'll recite something from the Bible himself. Luke 12:49. I have come to set the world on fire, and I wish it was already burning. He will actually grab something metal because he knows he's got to get a spark. He will walk as better as he can into the silo. He doesn't see anything, so he doesn't have to worry about that. I'm sorry, Mom. And then light it, taking himself out with it.
Silas, you cross that freeway that they built right through your property. You didn't consent to that, but the corporation didn't care. And if you continue another mile, that you'll be on is it the Wilsons' property? Is that what it is, the Wilson family?
Yep.
Somewhere behind you, there's an inferno of flames running through the silo. But that's behind you now. As you move forward, you look at the rot that had taken hold of your property diminish and fade as a new growth, a new beginning. Tomorrow begins on this property. But this isn't your tomorrow. You've put this far in your yesterday. And you move onto the porch, one heavy wooden step at a time of the Wilson's house. And you hear an infant crying from the inside of the door. Annie just had a baby not too long ago. You all sent a basket over. That's something common you guys do. The door opens, and you can see that she's holding a bundle of wailing, crying black feathers. And that is where we're going to end the silo. Woo! Friends of the Symphony, thank you so much for joining us on that ride. We ran a little short because our players decided to invite a bunch of terrible rolls onto themselves and then rolled poorly, and I support that completely.
I believe
go
that
ahead.
was Gadiel.
That was Gadiel. Fine, we'll blame Gadiel. We'll blame Gadiel.
Yeah.
Thank you so much to everyone who joined in or is currently watching the replay. You're indeed the best part of waking up, and we sincerely appreciate you. If you like this content, you would like to help us make more of it, please consider backing us on Patreon at patreon.com/Symphony Entertainment. I'm going to give cast one more last round off where they can tell us where they can be found. We're going to start with Bucho.
You can find me on Linktree /Bucho Rodenberger, Instagram, Bucho Rodenberger, Facebook. Yeah, don't look for me on Facebook. You're not going to like it. You can also find me on Symphony servers as Production Daddy.
Hey, Skip, hit us.
Hi, I'm Skip. I go by Commodore Skip on the Discord. You can catch me here on Symphony, over on the Old Ways also. And wow. Just wow.
Mav, hit us, baby.
Yeah, Mav, my pronouns are they, them. I am the head of Mythos Horror on the Old Ways, where you can also find me running a bunch of wonderful, slimy little horrors for your listening ears. You can find me on the Discords as Maverick of Mayhem, or on Blue Sky at Call Me Mav, and you can find my scenarios on Drive-Thru RPG, including The Man Who Sold the World, my latest David Bowie-inspired scenario, and the Gold bestseller, Saturday the 14th.
So good. So good.
Fucking gold. Absolutely love this for you, Mav. Oh my gosh. And Nik, baby, hit us.
Hey, I'm Nik. You can find me just about anywhere under the Sputnik with 2 eyes, THESPUTNIIK, because one eye was taken, or in this case, I guess both were. I'm going to follow up on Bucho's statement there. Don't try to find me on Facebook, please.
Usually I just leave it alone. Just we're going to nope out of it and just say no. Friends of the Symphony, that concludes the silo. Thank you for joining us. We hope you've had a good night, and we look forward to telling more stories with you again soon. Bye, guys. you.